Hey, y'all.
Howdy, howdy.
How's everybody out there doing?
Good. How's it going?
Good, I
It's
hope.
going.
Yeah, it's Friday. Can't be too bad.
Yeah, happy Friday.
Man,
It's not Joe's Friday, though. It's his Thursday.
I had a fake
yeah.
Friday. I thought I thought I was gonna have tomorrow off the whole freaking day until like right at the end of the day, and then like, oh no, we need you to work.
Dude, that sucks.
I hated that. Yeah, because I was like, man, I'm gonna drink. I was like already planning out my drinking schedule.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I have my little drinks. I can't drink too much because my AC guy's showing up in the morning. I gotta be able to roll my ass out of bed for that.
Yeah. You in Texas, you have to have AC. There's just no way around.
Oh man, no! I get last night on my show, I kept hearing this tip, tip, and I couldn't figure out what it was. I looked up. I've got this giant stain on my ceiling.
Oh, is that from the condensation?
Yeah.
Yeah. So your pan's not draining.
Yeah, something's going on. So I cranked the AC up to like 85 so it wouldn't kick on. It stopped the dripping, but when I came in here, before we came on, all the plaster fell down. So now I've got
I've been there. Oh boy, have I been there.
Weekend for Monica.
Yeah. Yeah. ACs are it's that thing. Even though I have a brand new house, we're coming up on 1 year, and I'm so paranoid about it.
You should be. That's when everything starts failing. Right as the warranty expires.
Yes. I'm so paranoid about it. Because you know what? I sleep so good in this house. Me and my wife came from a little house that was built in like 1981 and horrible insulation, and it was always hard to keep that house cool. Mm-hmm. And then when we get this one, it's like I sleep like a baby. I put it down to like 68 and just, man, and with fans on it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Because the older we get, we need our fans. It doesn't matter.
Oh yeah, man, that white noise and
yep.
As long as the wife's always watching Foreskin Files, I call it Foreskin Files. Forensic Files.
I love Forensic Files. Come on now.
That's what I always call it. But she watches that all the time, and I make her put the timer on because I can't stand to hear those gunshots all night.
See, we got to watch our murder shows to relax, to sleep.
Yeah.
Ladies have to do.
Yeah. Yeah. Y'all do love y'all's murder shows. Speaking of murder shows, there's a show called Snap. One of my cousins was on it. True story.
Really?
Y'all look him up. His name is Kevin Bowen. And
Snap is usually the female that goes berserk.
Yeah. Well, so I'll just give you like a short summary of it. So Kevin was never in trouble with the law ever. And he met this woman named Jennifer, and she came from an abusive relationship with kids. And they lived in like Round Rock, somewhere around Round Rock. And they were always fighting over the kids and whatnot. So she lured him to this place in Round Rock. And my cousin went up and executed this guy.
Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah, and he was asking us for money and everything. This was a few years ago. Well, like 10, 12 years ago. And he was always asking us, hey, I'm innocent. I don't know what happened to that guy. And then so when he finally admitted guilty and all that. And then they made that show on Snapped. That's what it's called. And it's crazy because I didn't know the whole story, but on Snapped it showed that when he I guess he left a cigarette butt on the scene, and then the cop dash cam caught my cousin was over there by the Colorado River, whatever river's over there, and he said, "Oh, I'm just smoking a cigarette." Well, they put two and two together. They went and dived in that river, and they found the gun,
dude.
And that's how he was.
See, that's why you got to watch the murder shows so you know not to do stuff like
that. Yeah. It was crazy. I mean,
that is crazy, dude. Yeah.
Yeah. He's still in.
Well, I guess. Yeah. He got
Oh, he's
Was
probably
it premeditated?
life, but
Ugh.
yeah, he ain't getting out anytime soon.
Oh man,
Yeah,
ain't nobody worth that.
no,
Ain't nobody worth that.
no, he must love her a lot. So,
He's something.
So since we were doing the 80s and 90s theme, and we were talking about drinking, I brought along a guest.
oh boy, oh boy, Mad Dog 2020.
It's going down.
Oh gosh, nausea is coming back.
Oh yeah, half dead in a field somewhere.
Yeah. We were talking about that one night. Like, how does that just get you? Like, it just tastes so good.
That's the problem. Okay, the first time I got like alcohol snuck up on me, it was Midori margaritas. I was at my friend's place, and she was making these margaritas, and I'm like, damn, these are good. I'm tossing them back. I was like, I can't taste the alcohol at all.
Yeah.
Like 4 of them. I got off the stool and I like hit the floor. I was like,
oh yeah, yeah.
That was so bad. That's like the first time I ever drove drunk. Don't do that.
Yeah, don't do that.
Don't do that. But I remember sitting at a stop sign going, okay, one way goes to the freeway and the other way goes to the back roads home. And I want to go the back roads home, but I don't know which way it is.
Yeah, we don't want to take the.
Yeah, I don't want to get on
because that's where all the cops
are. 101.
Yeah,
it's true because we were chugging it like there's no tomorrow, and B, we were like 12. So
my parents thought that they would be clever and they'd get me really drunk really young so that I would get sick and not want to drink again. I was like, that did not work.
Yeah, just straight up backfired.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah, that's like the same as making you smoke the whole pack. They pulled that on me and my friend Ryan. Man, we smoked the whole pack. We're like, all right, sweet.
Smoked the whole pack.
Thanks. My parents also told me, they said, you can either drink and we know about it, or you can smoke and we know about it. And we'll be cool. We won't give you shit about it, but you pick one. You can't have both.
Yeah.
And I was like, drinking it is.
You twisted my arm.
You got me started young. Thank you.
I really don't drink a lot. I drink with y'all whenever we're on these. I have some neighbors now that are really cool. I don't. Other than that, I don't drink.
Do you want to try it?
What is it?
Yeah, I don't much anymore either. But let me tell you, when I was younger, I was sure like putting it away. That's for sure.
Yeah.
But like these days, like you just get older and you get a little more tame, except for Joe.
Yeah, Joe
ain't slowing down.
No.
Joe's just a party guy, man.
It's just the way of life.
Yeah, it's
like
I couldn't. See, you got certain people like the lady that has the haunted business. She's like a mother to me. Oh, she gets wild with those drinks, man, and she's pushing like 70-ish. But she just, she lives by her. She still smokes like chain smokes, and she won't stop. Yeah, we've tried to ask her to like, hey, Kim, you might want to slow down.
Yeah, she's living her life. She's living it.
See, that's a weird difference in me. Like Jake could drink like a mo, nobody's business like me. But eventually he would start getting, to where he's, talking crazy, or you can tell he's not there anymore.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I don't get like that. I really don't.
Right. And I don't either.
Oh, I can't.
But I can drink. Yeah. I can drink all night long till
No, Breezy knows I'm fast
5 a.m.
I want to get really, really drunk and be able to function the next day and not have a hangover for 3 days straight. I have to stick to one alcohol, and it's usually like Patron. I can drink Patron. I can drink the shit out of Patron, but I don't get hangovers on Patron.
Yeah. Yeah, Patron is. I'll take shots of that, and it doesn't really.
Well, that's all. I mean, I'm not like chugging the bottle.
Yeah. But I tend to stay away from liquor usually because that's when I don't like throwing up, and that's when I would throw up. Was when I would
Drink too much liquor too fast.
Yeah, I remember one night at midnight rodeo. This was beer though. I threw up on
midnight rodeo.
I've never thrown up on beer.
Yeah, this was 75-cent Miller Lite night, and oh my God, they were little cans too. But my friends were just buying them and buying them and buying them, and I remember throwing up in Ralph's truck.
Oh man!
Oh gosh, that was the last time though. That was a long time ago.
I've never got. That's the one thing I can drink, and I don't get. No, I'll get drunk, but I won't get nauseous on is beer.
Yeah.
Like if I just stick to beer, I'll get buzzed. I don't know that I even get like that drunk. I mean, the American beer sucks. Like it's like
that's
Bud's the one that would get me the drunkest.
Corona.
Yeah, but I can just drink beer and just whatever. But I don't know what the hangover would look like on that anymore because the older you get, hangovers are legit. And I remember the first time I had a hangover so bad, somebody like pulled the curtains open because I was in a hotel room with a friend of mine, and they're like, "Oh, it's like 11 a.m. We got to go to whatever." And they opened the curtains, and it was like somebody stabbed me with an ice pick in the eye. It's like, oh.
Yeah, I don't miss that feeling.
No.
What about you, Joe? Do you get hungover?
Me?
Yeah.
If I drink hard, like if I go through,
I don't like it
because I can drink.
I don't either.
I can drink most of a half gallon of rum in one sitting.
Dude.
But if I do that, yeah, I'm feeling it the next day. But I drink probably on work nights. I drink a 6-pack of Tall Girls because I don't put tall boys in my mouth.
That's right.
And I drink an average of probably about 8 or 9 shots, and that's just a regular work night. So I waking up to that, I'm just like, whatever. Doesn't even.
Yeah.
That would put me out of commission.
Oh yeah, dude. I would.
Or out of commission.
The next day, there's no way.
Oh yeah.
That's like this. I'm doing this tonight. I'm probably gonna have 2 because I did not go to the gym today. So that means I got to go to the gym in the morning on a Saturday. And this is
what am I like in my 30s? My regimen was about an 18-pack a night, and that's on a work night. And I used to have to go to work at I'd have to be there by 9, so I'd have to leave here by like 7:50. So I'd wake up around 7:30ish. But
man,
yeah. So I drink one of those, and almost about at least a fifth of that old rot gut JTS brown whiskey.
Yeah.
That shit, yeah.
Oh man, I can't even smell whiskey anymore.
Ugh.
I can't. We had this drink when I was younger that my friends and I called Dr. Jack, and it was Jack Daniels and Dr. Pepper.
Oh.
I cannot smell Jack Daniels.
Oh yeah, it makes you throw up. Yeah. Oh yeah, I remember being around like friends that thrown up of that stuff, and the smell. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Horrible.
Yeah, that's the freaking anything that you puke up enough of, you almost like you can't drink it anymore.
Yeah.
And any kind of sour mash like Jack, Jim Beam, like I can drink it. Like if someone's like, "Hey, you're doing a shot with me," all right, but like it is definitely not my go-to.
Yeah, I can't even do that. Like the smell of it like brings back all the memories.
It smells like foot funk.
Where I'm like, laying half alive upside down on a staircase, like,
yeah,
dying, people walking around me.
But like tequila, I can drink tequila till the freaking cows come home. Like I used to go through one of those. It was like the $30 or $40 bottle of Hornitos, like that. And so what I do is I freeze a little medley of like blueberries, raspberries that you get from like HEB or whatever.
Right.
Put them in the freezer and then throw them in a cup once they're frozen. just top it off with tequila. So it's like ice cubes, and you get a little snack at the end of that. At the end of the drink. So, but I drink the whole bottle.
He would make what was it? It was the stuff that's like basically gasoline. Moonshine. He would make moonshine and he would put berries in it. So we would get just fucked up on the moonshine, and then you eat the berries that are also alcohol infused. And that's just like the topping on the cake. That's the cherry on top to your inability to function for at least 2 days.
Yeah, we did. Really, dude.
Yeah.
If you have good moonshine,
you're
not missing anything.
No. Me and my uncle dabbled in it for a while, and once we got like to where I think the best stuff that we were making, he's like, dude, I perfected it, man. He's like, check this out. And I was like, all right. And he poured me up a shot, and I had a Sublime CD in the car for him. And I was like, oh yeah, I left my Sublime, or left your Sublime CD in the car. And so I was like, I'll go grab it real quick. I did a shot, and it was like 5 steps to the front screen door. And as soon as I opened that door, it was like the whole, I was buzzed. I was like, holy shit, dude. I was already
quick. That's what they say. It like sneaks up on you like really fast.
Yeah, because it doesn't go through your bladder. It just evaporates into your body.
Fuck, man, I could imagine. And I'm a lightweight, dude. I get buzzed pretty damn quick.
I am now. Because I don't drink anymore.
And when I go up to Dallas when I go up to Gordonville with our friends, see Bobby, she's used to me partying, right? She's used to the Woody that used to be in 1999, and let's party. And she's never changed. I kind of changed. I kind of chilled out, but now she's like, so like when I was there, she's like, come on, drink some more, Woody. What the fuck? And I'm like, dude, I can't do this shit. And she's older than me. She's like 2 years older than me. But
she just kept it up. I mean, if you keep it up, you can keep your
yeah. So now she's an empty nester, her and her husband. So now they're just fucking, let's get on the boat. Let's drink all day. And that's another thing. We get on that boat, right?
Oh.
We get on
I can imagine being on a boat and drunk.
Oh yeah, we get on Lake Texoma and they drink the whole time, and the sun. I just don't know how they do it.
I couldn't with the heat, because when I was drinking like that, I mean, I was back in California where it's a lot cooler, right?
Yeah, but out here, it's difficult.
Nah.
Yeah, that's how I ended up breaking my leg up the bone instead of snapping the bone in half. And split it up the bone. Yeah, my freaking whatever thigh bone or whatever. Because we're getting drunk. We're getting drunk and shit on the leg, and and we were drinking all day. And my buddy had like a sports buddy. I think it had like I forgot what that big freaking Dodge motor was that came out with, but he had one of those. It was a V8. And he was doing like 70 miles an hour. And I was like, I wonder what it's like to jump in the wake when you're doing 70 miles an hour.
Oh, shit.
Hitting concrete is what it is.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. So, I jumped in and I felt my foot kick myself under my armpit.
Oh,
I was like, oh, yeah. That's pro.
How old were you?
This was early SHSM times.
20s?
Yeah, so I had to be 20, maybe 25, 26, something like that.
Yeah, geez.
But because I had a mini gathering at my house like the weekend after the next weekend, and I
remember the story well.
Yeah,
it was brutal.
It sucked, dude. But anyway, I got back on the boat and they're like, dude, oh shit, you need to get you to the hospital. I was like, dude, no, it's almost sundown. I was like, let's just keep drinking. We'll go, we'll get done.
Like when the snake just rips
That's how
He'll be
he rolls.
fine.
He waits till it's like gonna die.
And then so like then we pulled up to the freaking to the loading dock or whatever, and I get off the boat and I'm like hobbling and shit, and like 5 freaking police, man, like come walking up on me like, you know, wondering if I'm drunk or, you know, what's going on, or and dude, I turned into a hick so fast, dude. I was like, oh, hell no, man. That's just old football accident, man. I just reheard him out there skiing, and I don't know. I just had to think of something wrong.
There you go. You act like a good old boy. They ain't going to do nothing to you.
Shit, yeah. So we got in the truck, and I had him stopped at the store before the hospital. I was like, dude, by the time they get done, it's going to be past midnight. I'm going to need beer. Like, stop here and get a 12 or 24 pack. And
he watches that time.
And I checked in at the front. I was like, it's going to be a while to wait, right? And they're like, yeah. And I was like, all right, well, I'm going to be out in the parking lot.
I knew it.
I was out in the parking lot.
Yeah.
You're
like at the restaurant,
just
lights up and
come out and yell at me.
They're numbing the pain.
Yeah.
Come on me.
I knew I couldn't afford, because I didn't have any insurance or anything, so I couldn't afford prescriptions. Or I was like, I'm just gonna have to, you know, literally walk this one off.
Oh my
God. I know it does dull the pain or it gets rid of it. And I remember I rolled my ankle. We were at a bar one night, and I was acting like an idiot, jumping up and touching stuff. And I had rolled my ankle, and me and Arambula were out drinking and dancing and acting like fools the whole night. We went to Chacho's, which is our local.
Chachos and Chaluchis.
Yeah, that's where everybody goes after the bar. And as soon as I ate 2 tacos, I started sobering up, and that pain was bad. I was like, "What the hell happened?" They're like, "Dude, yo,
come in. Hi.
What's happening? My nephew's here." So I'm on a podcast.
You're popular.
Yeah, I know, right?
I don't know.
They went to go see Longlegs last night, but they wouldn't let them watch it.
Yeah.
Oh, access denied, huh?
Yeah,
That sucks.
You gotta be of age.
Is that movie any good?
I heard it is. It's supposed to be like the coolest thing since Silence of the Lambs.
Well, I guess
take us.
I'll just take y'all.
Tell us about the rolled ankle.
Oh yeah. No, I was good after that, but it swelled and it sucked.
Dude, I did that. I thought I broke my ankle. I ended up in the ER.
Yeah,
I was like, I know it's broken.
Yeah.
I thought I broke my foot rolling my ankle recently. It still hurts. I may have.
Oh,
broken
you did
something,
it recently?
I don't know. Yeah. Well, a couple months ago, it still hurts.
Oh.
Where were you at?
I was leaving my mother's house that my sister was trying to squat in.
Oh,
I was leaving the situation so I wouldn't whip that ass, and I rolled my
Yeah.
ankle in the process.
Oh, jeez.
It still
Squatting?
hurts. There was time to move out, and
Yeah.
they were trying to lock in.
Oh, yeah.
Squatter.
Yeah, it's gonna hurt for a while. I know it.
It still
will.
hurts.
Yeah. It took mine.
Tell me more about the rolled ankle. It sucks. I know.
Yeah.
It's part of getting older.
I had to walk
Yeah.
on crutches for like 2
Takes
weeks.
longer.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
2 weeks of wobbling around. Yeah.
I pulled a hamstring wrestling with my dog. I have a big old pit bull, and he's getting old. I have 3 dogs, but the big pit bull is like, he's the OG, right? Me and him wrestle. Like I have, well, you probably can't see it, but I have a bruise here because he bites. He doesn't mean to bite hard, but he's a freaking pit bull.
You grab
Me
the
and him
hole.
were wrestling last night on the floor. You know, I always tackle him down, and he gets pissed off, and he tries to bite me. Well, I pulled a hamstring doing that.
Oh.
I've never done that. Trying to get back up, you know, before he like really starts biting the hell out of me. I was like, oh my God. I was hobbling around. I was scared. I was like, okay, I'm not going to be able to go to work tomorrow because it was, I've never felt that.
Yeah.
The
Wait till you
roast
get to the
beef.
age where you injure yourself sleeping.
You're right.
You wake up and you're like,
what?
the fuck did I do?
You know what the answer
My
is
mom
to
broke her
that?
foot that way. Woke up and broke her foot. She was asleep. Didn't know what happened until it hurt.
Yeah. You know how to fix that? Get a purple mattress.
I have a purple mattress.
And you still get injured?
Yes.
Holy cow. Dude, ever since I got that purple mattress, me and Haley sleep like really good. We don't have, but our old mattress, we were always like waking up. What the hell happened to my neck? And
oh yeah. No, I have a purple mattress, but I think I need to get one of those toppers. Like I'm old enough that I need like a 4-inch like sink into it topper, because I had one of those before we got this purple mattress, and it was awesome. I loved it. I didn't have any like aches or pains or anything. And Chris was bitching about it because he didn't like sinking into it. Yeah. And then, we ended up buying this purple mattress, and I'm like, it was okay for a little while, but now I'm like, this fucking sucks, dude. I want to get one of those things again. Like, I'm just going to get one for my side. There's going to be like a 4-inch difference in the height.
I agree.
Hey,
I like it, but she likes it.
Yeah.
I like a firm one. He likes it soft. Like,
yeah, it's all about preference.
Let's bring it back. The separation.
Yeah. I was like, I'll get my own dang bedroom. I don't give a flip anymore.
Our friends right now have 2 mattresses. I'm like, good idea. One wants a water bed. One wants a
water bed.
Water beds, God.
Holy shit, we are talking
water
beds. Did y'all have a water bed?
Oh yeah. I had one when I was a kid.
Yeah, Jen, your mom did?
That's it. That's only I don't like them.
Man, I didn't either, but I remember, what movie comes to mind?
Nightmare on Elm Street.
Remember Lady in Red?
I don't remember the Lady in Red.
I
know the movie, but I don't remember like the premise.
Yeah, it was a sleazy movie, man. It was the guy from Willy Wonka.
Okay.
Oh, it was
Gene Wilder.
Gene
Wilder. Hey, really quick, a thing about Gene Wilder. So I had this coworker years ago that he was obsessed with females from Vietnam. I guess it was Vietnam. So he was always dating these Vietnamese women. But Gene Wilder lived there, and he met them. And he said that he was one of the most down-to-earth guys. He was living out there at the time. He's dead now. But he said that, Gene Wilder was one of the nicest people, and he couldn't believe that he was just that down-to-earth.
That's nice to know.
Yeah.
I saw a documentary on him, like his whole life. That was because I love him. I love Gene Wilder.
I think he's awesome. He's an awesome guy.
And he seemed to be like a really, really sweet man. And as he grew older, his second wife, because Gilda Radner died, right? Pretty young.
Right.
And early in their marriage, I think. And anyway, he found this other woman and they got married. Oh man, he loved her. And as he got older, he was painting, and I think the ending scene of the documentary was the self-portrait that he painted of himself. It was really cool. But he seemed like just the sweetest, like funniest, kindest guy.
Yeah, that's what he said. Joe had said, my buddy's name is Joe. He said that he had a restaurant over there too, and he would just hook him up with free food. And
that's crazy.
Yeah. Gene Wilder.
Man.
And they also say Brad Pitt's like that too. They say he's real down to earth.
That's cool.
You wouldn't believe, that. But I don't know, man. Being like Joe's around a lot of these celebrities and stuff, dude. When you go to these Comic Cons and stuff, like some of them are snobby, man. Like, geez, I know you probably don't agree with this, but I didn't like that Leatherface guy.
Which one?
Which one?
Molotoff, he was a smart ass.
RA, yeah, I can see that.
RA, the biker like one.
Yeah, I just got on his good. I got on his good side early because I was riding my Harley, so he was like, oh man, I like your scooter, blah blah blah, and then he's like, come here and sit with me, So I was sitting behind his table, both times at the convention and the gas station, just drinking it up and and acting like I'm his assistant and shit. I'm like, which one would you like, ma'am? All right, here you go. Handling the marker and shit. They're like, oh, do you work with him? I'm like, no, I just met the dude. I'm just sitting here drinking.
do get a lot of behind the scenes working at the gas station, so I know how these like some of the actresses are really disappointing to me because they act a certain way, and some of them are like memorable because of their personality.
Yeah.
So it's kind of sometimes it's disappointing meeting people because of the way they carry themselves or
just the way they treat people in general. Like, who are you? Who do you think you are?
Yeah.
Honestly,
congratulations, you look good on film.
Yeah.
Wow.
Right. And then a lot of them, it's like, oh, you were in that one freaking movie from 1984
in 2 commercials,
and you've never been in anything else, and you still think you're the shit,
But some of them, they're like, you just become friends with.
Right. Yeah, and that's what's cool about y'all. Y'all get to meet all kinds of, like especially horror folks. That's
Danielle Harris is coming. I fan out on her.
I saw that. That's where she's coming to the gas station.
Mm-hmm. She was looking at me like, okay. I'm like,
Yeah, I have. My kid wants to meet her so bad, or my oldest kid.
This one coming out, I don't know if I think she's gonna be signing during the day, but the evening event is her podcast. Yeah, it's ticket only.
Yeah. And what day? When is that?
I don't know. I don't Facebook anymore. That's how I find out about things. Facebook.
Yeah.
September-ish. I'll probably see it tomorrow on my feed, and I'll shoot you a link.
It's coming.
Yeah. Yeah, that's if we.
Month, 2,
I don't know.
maybe.
I know Malachi was somewhere, and my kid was all pissed off because he missed that opportunity. He's already met Malachi before. One of the coolest dudes was Bill Mosley. I missed that. Yeah, he's just a great guy. And it was cool, man? Quick story about him. You know who he is, right, Monica?
Right, the name sounds familiar.
Well, that's the guy that played in Otis and House of a Thousand Corpses, the one with the long blonde hair. Yeah. So his voice is just you hear it on movies. He's just got one of those voices, and it was cool when we met him the last time. We met him like 2 times. This last time it was when me and Jake went up to Dallas for Texas Frightmare. So he signed us autographs. He hooked us up with more photos for free. And then we said our goodbyes and we were walking. So we're walking down away from everybody. And then I hear, hey, and it's his voice, he's like, here, I forgot to give you this. And he had a Rob Zombie mask and he gave it to my youngest. He's like, here, man. And he put it on him. He's like, I forgot to give you this because they don't have anymore. And then he goes, watch out for Mr. Tree Man, because my wife bumped into the tree guy and it was like a costume. And it was just cool how he said it, hey, you go watch out for Mr. Tree Guy. It's like, oh my God, his voice, dude. It's like I'm in a movie with him.
That's awesome. That's a good memory for your son, too.
You fanned out, you're geeking
out. I fanned out, dude. Every time I meet that guy.
That's why you're like, what? Tree guy.
What the first time I met him, and this was years ago, I was like, dude, you have to tell me where Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 was filmed. And he was telling me that's how I found it. Is before I did internet research because there wasn't really much on it. There's a little town called Breezy. Help me out. It's north of Austin and Round Rock.
Leander.
No, it's off 35. Golly, it's like
Cedar Park.
No, it's not even a town.
Bridge.
No, it's. Oh God! No.
What's the only location are you talking about?
That might be able to where Texas Battleland was.
Part 2.
That was right outside of. It's the one that got hit by the freaking big ass.
It's by Gerald, but it's called something else.
Right?
I'll think of it, but that's because I had no idea, and so I ended up going out there.
Yeah, it was like a themed. It was like a diner, and it had a theme. What's that? It's the name of that freaking big Alp in Switzerland or whatever. Or something.
It was called Texas Battleland, but
right.
And then also the interiors were shot at a place called the Austin Statesman. It was like the old newspaper factory in downtown Austin.
Yeah, the scene where what's his name? Dennis Hopper, when he's testing out the chainsaws outside.
That's the mean-eyed cat.
Yeah, that's behind it though. If you watch way in the background, that's the Leander marching band going across the field. And they got paid like I forgot how much freaking money, but Matterhorn, that's what it was.
Yeah,
Matterhorn. I think that was the name of the restaurant.
They were playing. That was supposed to be the Texas OU weekend.
There was something going on.
Yeah, back when it was the what was it called? It was called the Shootout or something.
Red River Shootout, dude. Every year.
Now it's the Showdown.
No, I think it's
going to admit. Come over here. My wife, she's shy.
I'm not shy.
Hi.
Say hello to wifey, everybody.
Hi, wifey.
hey.
Going to
Look
bed?
at us.
Okay.
Here we are.
Okay. I'll be there in a little bit.
Bedtime.
She's going to bed.
Night.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.
And she's out.
Okay, so
I
speaking
stopped coming in.
of the older horror flicks, okay. So what's y'all's favorite, let's say, I guess you'd say, genre of them? You know what I mean? Did y'all like the campy, like Gremlins type stuff, or the slashers, or the possession flicks, or any of that stuff?
Are you talking about like 80s movies? Yeah, like when you're a kid, like what made your eyes widen in Blockbuster when you were going on Friday night?
Running down those stairs on her back in a crab walk and the poltergeist. That was scary for me.
That's the spider walk.
Yeah, the spider walk. Yeah.
Downstairs.
It was for me. It was Nightmare on Elm Street, the first one.
So slasher.
Yeah,
slasher
that was because I was watching Conan and shit, you know. And
Conan.
I always like monsters.
Yeah, that was my first horror movie as a kid. Was Nightmare on Elm Street 1. And I remember we rented it, or it was on HBO. That was dude. I still, me and Jake used to watch that and just say, like, dude, how trippy the first one was. That part where he says, "This is God," like, and the goat running around, and it's just, or sheep.
Yeah, it was very, very dark compared to the rest of them.
Yeah, one's always the best.
Yeah, the first ones are always the best, and then they just kind of get corny.
Except for Evil Dead. Evil Dead, I love.
Yeah, Evil Dead too.
It progresses. It's just so ridiculous.
Dude, I've been there where that was filmed.
I've been places that look like there where I'm like, I've seen this horror movie.
Yeah, that's man. Evil Dead. That was one of Jake's favorites.
See, I liked monster movies, so I really liked all of them. I didn't really have a favorite genre, like back in the day.
Yeah.
It was the cover, like of the VHS, right? It was the cover that caught me. So if it was like spooky, if it had monsters on it, or if it was kind of gory, as much as they would allow. Silver Bullet. Now, I like Silver Bullet because I read Cycle of the Werewolf before the movie came out.
Is that so? That's what it's based off of?
Yeah, it's based off
Cycle of the Werewolf.
Yeah, Cycle of the Werewolf.
I'll have to check that out.
Stephen King.
Yeah, and I so I knew what it was about, and I liked the story, because it doesn't really follow Cycle of the Werewolf. I mean, it kind of loosely does. There's no kid in a wheelchair throughout the whole story. It's like each month.
Right. They just the Hollywood put that in there, huh?
Yeah. I mean, well, he's in the story, but he's not the main character in the book.
Right.
But, it explains like how the preacher like became a werewolf, like kind of like not directly, but indirectly tells you how it happened. Yeah. And I mean, Silver Bullet I love, but then when they showed the dang werewolf, I was like, are you kidding me?
With the silver bullet in the eye.
A better werewolf on it than this crap.
Yeah.
Like the TV show Werewolf. I love the TV show Werewolf.
No, I don't remember that.
You don't? Oh gosh, it's on YouTube. You got to check it out. Best.
It was a TV show?
Yeah. It was on for like one, maybe two, but definitely one season. And I was like, yes, because I love werewolves, right? I love
it. I do too. That Silver Bullet was like the big one for me. Like I loved how he would just change and see American Werewolf in London. I was too young to I wasn't really allowed to watch it, but I remember seeing scenes that scared the hell out of me.
Well, yeah.
That was
pretty
like
spooky. You know, with him from the POV of the werewolf where he's stalking him in the subway, like he's crawling the escalator towards him. I mean, that was really intense. And I remember hearing, like, as an adult, I was up in the Gifford Pin show and I heard this crazy like howl, like roar howl thing. And I'm sure it was something terrestrial. I mean, it was something we know. But it scared the crap out of me, and it sounded so much like the howl from American Werewolf in London. I just remember because there was a bunch of us around the campfire, and we were dispersed camping. We were like out in the middle of
way out there, yeah.
And I just remember like perking up, and my friend perked up, and I'm looking around, and my friend Kathy's like, "Oh, it's just a bear," and I'm like, "We're gonna run with that one."
Dude, that would be trippy to hear that, like when you're out camping.
Yeah, no, it's not cool. Like when you're in the middle of nowhere. I mean, the cars were right there, but I mean, you know, I've seen enough horror movies to know that's no guarantee of anything. If shit slides sideways,
like what if you run into like what are those ones? The Sierra sounds.
Oh yeah,
making the Sierra sound.
Yeah, the gibberish the samurai. Yeah.
What if you run into that out in the middle of nowhere?
Yeah, no, I wouldn't be okay with that. I'd be getting out.
Now, Silver Bullet. I remember my cousin was staying over for the summer, and he's like 3 years older than me, and this is probably like I was living off of Kramer Lane, so this is like second grade. Which 3 years, you know, when you're that young is a lot, you know. And I remember because I was such a horror movie head, and he came to stay, and it was late at night. And we were on the little fold-out couch in the living room, and we were watching and the scene where he goes into the greenhouse. Right.
Yeah.
Where he's saying, "Kill the."
That is spooky. Yeah. That is a spooky scene.
Like my cousin, like lost his shit, dude. He was so freaking. He's like, "Oh my god, dude!" I'm just like,
dude, that was a trippy part, dude.
It was.
It didn't bother me at all. I was like,
it's under the floorboards, and you see its eye looking up at him.
See, they don't make movies like that anymore. They don't.
And that sucks. You know what you don't get anymore are the practical effects. We talked about that with Garitano on my show. Like practical effects, you just don't see it anymore in the horror movies. And that's what's missing, right? No matter how cheesy it is, it's a practical effects.
Right? Yeah.
It's really there. It's not this CGI bullshit that
the CGI shit is.
Yeah.
I mean, you can tell when it's CGI. It just looks ridiculous.
I know. I mean, there was this one werewolf movie that I saw, and it was, I swear to God, there were 3 werewolves in it, and it's something road, right? It's like Gangnam Road or something, but it's these women that break down in the middle of nowhere, and they're like hoofing it on the road, and they're trying to get to this house, and there's these werewolves like roaming the countryside around them. And I swear to God, it is like there's 3 of them, and each costume is like a leftover like costume from a movie that we've all. There are 3 completely different looking werewolves.
But it's supposed to be one werewolf.
No, it's 3. It's definitely 3. Yeah. I mean, they don't look anything alike. There's like this white one that's like all deformed, and then there's one that looks like a traditional, you know, like the Howler werewolf, and then there's this other one that's got like this ridiculous like long fingers. It's like they're so different looking, and it's clear that they're just like leftover props from previous. But I still prefer that to some CGI shit. You know, I'd love to watch that. a cartoon werewolf chasing somebody.
Yeah, I mentioned it on a different show. I can't remember which one, but Jen she came home and she bought me the entire collection of the Tremors movies. And I guess TVs were a lot smaller back then, and now they're freaking huge. But like I watched the part 1 and I'm like, yeah, that's a good one, because they were using practical effects.
Yeah.
And then part 2, it's like literally it looks like Looney Tunes shit, like someone put cartoon over regular film. And I'm like, dude, what the hell, dude? I was like, I don't remember it being that bad. Like, like I guess maybe it's because of the smaller television.
Dude, you're right. That makes sense.
Evil Dead's like that too. If you watch it on a big screen, like a flat screen, the first one, all the night shots that have the moon in it, you'll see
the celluloid
big square. Yeah, you can see the big square around the moon. I'm like, oh shit. Dude, how did I never see that before?
I expect like Evil Dead to be campy. I do. Like, I don't mind that in it. Like, I know what you're talking about. It's so noticeable, but I mean, I don't know. I love Evil Dead. I love Ash. I love the third one was so like funny. I mean, it's not even spooky. It's just
I never saw 3.
The Army of Darkness. Oh, I love that. See, that's one that I had to do in that particular order. I saw Army of Darkness first, and I'd always seen Evil Dead in the in the video stores and shit. But I guess I just never got it for whatever reason. So I had to backtrack and then watch 1 and 2. Same with Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I went and saw part 3, Leatherface, in the movie theaters. First? Yeah, I went and saw it in the movie theaters, and I was like, oh, this is a sequel. So then I had to go backwards and watch it, and dude, 1 freaked me the fuck out, man, because there's something about quiet horror movies, where there's like an absence of sound
because it's real. It's real.
Right.
Like when you're in a spooky situation, you don't have the sound in the background. It's real because it's quiet.
Right.
Yeah. And the dude what really got me, because it sets the mood, is the drunk guy at the graveyard where he's like all laying upside down, and he's talking to himself. And he's like, there's
things I don't tell about.
Yeah. It's just creepy as shit, dude.
Dude, I know exactly what you're talking about. Me and Jake saw that movie for the first time together, and it was I don't know, it was so bizarre, it kind of made you feel uneasy because number one, we're in Texas too. We're literally right down 35 from where this all happened, and it just makes you think. Actually, if you can hear it, it's playing right now, and the kids are
watching it.
Yeah, I keep hearing the hitchhikers cutting their arm and shit in the band.
Do you guys remember the movie Waxworks?
I remember it, but I don't remember it.
Slightly.
Yeah.
So it takes, that's like a really 80s horror movie, like really 80s. But it's this guy that has these effectively haunted objects incorporated into the waxworks. And these, college kids go in, and each scene you can step through this barrier. Like if you step into the display, you go through this barrier and you become one with the display. And whatever the artifact is how it kills you and you become part of the display then.
Oh, that sounds familiar.
In the end, they collect enough souls that all of the waxworks come to life. And there's like this big, like cheesy battle at the end. And, one of them's werewolves that were actually pretty decent werewolves.
Yeah. Like for a change, right?
Yeah. And they had like the Marquis de Sade, and there was him, there was Dracula. There was, it was pretty cool. Like if you like the like really like deep 80s horror, you should check it out for sure.
Yeah. Waxworks?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll have to look that up. You remember
definitely on my new list. I'll probably get like 5 minutes into it and remember the whole damn movie.
You'll be like,
Yeah.
Yeah,
for that.
I hate when that happens, man.
Yeah.
Like I was actually trying to think the other day, and I've been racking my freaking brain about it because I was thinking about the show and what was the name? I can't for the life of me remember, but we all used it all the freaking time. But it was that spray shit that like numbed your throat out for like when you had a sore throat.
Like chloroseptic?
There you go.
Was it chloroseptic? No, that thing.
It tastes awful.
Yeah, it tasted like spoiled cherries or something.
Yeah, I started with it's chloroseptic.
Was it chloroseptic? I kept thinking I started with an L.
They still make that?
I don't know.
I've seen it.
Do they?
Yeah.
My son just got over strep. I had to go get him some throat numbing spray. So
Did you get them that chloroseptic?
Yeah.
The green death flavor? Remember
I
that?
got the red one. I always get the red
Yeah,
one.
was
I
that
remember
the
they had a green one. Dude, I used to get sore throats like a
Ventilating.
motherfucker when I was a kid.
I remember every time I would use it, I couldn't taste anything for like 2 days afterwards. Like it killed everything. It killed everything.
Well, it never worked. It never seemed to work.
Oh, it worked
I
for me.
did.
Really?
Yeah, because I used to get tonsillitis like every month, until they finally took my tonsils out, and then they're supposed to take my adenoids out too, and they're like, "Oh, his adenoids are so small, he won't have any problem in the future." And I vibrate walls when I snore. I'm like, damn, y'all.
See, I snore like a lumberjack when I'm drunk. Like I snore like a man when I'm drunk.
Dude, I literally start snoring just because I'm too comfortable. Like Jen will like I'll be like sitting there watching a movie and Jen will like look at it. I don't hear it, but Jen like looks over at me. She's like, "Are you sleeping?" And I'm all, "That's why you're snoring." I'm like, "What? I'm watching a movie."
Okay, listen. I do my best trying to sleep in the bed. I wear earplugs. I try to go head to foot.
Pillow, like sandwich your head between pillows.
You got to nudge them, dude. You got to nudge them.
what I do. I kick the shit out of him and pretend like I'm asleep and I didn't know I did.
Okay, and I went through that too. I'm done.
Yeah. Like when my wife snores, I'll literally like hit her on purpose, like kind of
I would
like
nudge.
turning over.
I would nudge
and
him.
it stops it. Do you do
And
that?
then I would wake up and say, "Turn over," and then I would like stomp on the bed for a second. And he'd and possibly pull, and then I give up. I give up. We have an extra mattress. I lay on that.
Yeah.
You can't help it. Like you can't help it, so you can't be upset. Like, you can't be mad at them.
That's like like I can't touch my wife's foot. The other night, I guess I brushed up against her foot.
Oh
like,
God!
long-ass toenails and shit. Like it's just got to be like oh yeah, dude. Oh, I'm scared of her.
Oh, dude, I'll get the karate chop quicker than shit.
Oh,
I just barely brush up against her foot. That's it, dude. She's fucking.
Yeah, so it's not just
like I'm in a horror movie.
Is that like a woman thing? Y'all hate that, right?
It's not. I don't.
As I got older, just don't touch me.
Yeah, I mean,
at all.
Yeah, I don't want you throwing your arm around me in the middle of the night with your sweaty ass. Like, keep it.
Yeah,
don't breathe on me either.
We used to cuddle like
all
the time, all the time.
Now
like I would get fucking
your arm would go to sleep.
I'm sweating. Get off.
Well, yeah, it's like carpal tunnel because we would like do this shit all night and it would be all like fucked up and I don't know, somehow it just kind of phased out.
Now, if I'm falling asleep, I don't mind cuddling, but when I am asleep, get the fuck away from me. You stay over there. We can touch feet.
Yeah.
Like, I want to touch you, so I'll like throw my leg over there and like touch his foot, but then he freaking freaks out if he thinks I'm trying to tickle him with my toes or something in the middle of the night.
Dude, that's another thing that pisses us off. I know my wife tries to tickle and shit, and it's like
I don't mean to. I'm just moving. Like your foot is in the way too.
Then like an ice cube try to snuggle, and it's so cold, it's painful to me. So I'm in a dead warm sleep.
Now that's the opposite because Chris is warm and I'm cold, and I'm like, come here so I can leech your body heat off of you.
That's what I'm trying to do.
He's cold, I'm warm.
Yeah, but I do give her credence on the foot thing because I literally have a bad habit of growing my toenails out till they click. Like when they click on the floor, that's when it's time to rip them off.
I'm like, dude, you could snatch fish out of the lake with that shit.
I'm telling you.
I have scars.
You have scars? Holy shit.
I tell Chris he can cut meat with his sometimes. I'm like, clip your feet.
Yeah, and when it is time to clip them, I don't clip them, I tear them off. Like literally just tear them. Yeah, rip them off so they come back all jagged and funky.
What do you do with them?
And then I put them where she can find them because she can't stand them. I like put them like right where she puts her drink or whatever.
Yeah.
Or in the freaking ashtray.
You're supposed to burn those, Joe. You're supposed to burn.
Well, it's great because I'll be like going to get a beer or something in here.
Leave her.
He's so gross. He's like, no, they're not clicking on the floor yet. Do some of those. You're ripping through your socks. Like, stop.
You're talking about the nails?
Yeah.
Toenail, yeah. So, okay, if I make a noise on the sheet, so my pinky toenail will get really sharp because if I cut it, it just does like two edges. So if it rubs up against the sheet, like it makes that noise like zip.
Yeah.
Freaking flips out.
He's
ripped that damn thing off right now. Like it's so funny because I'll purposely do it. Like I'll make the ripping noise.
Yeah.
Get so mad.
Yes.
Yeah, I've actually cut through a sheet like that before.
Do you have a kitty cat in there?
Yeah, that's Zelda bot. Let me show you her.
Yeah, I want to see the kitty.
I'm a kitty cat. Yeah. Oh, sure. Oh, look at the boots.
This is Zelda.
Oh my gosh.
Colors.
The Zelda bot, we call her.
She's so pretty.
She's a vampire. See it?
She sure is. I see it.
Her's a vampire.
I love her white whiskers.
Yeah, thank you.
She's so pretty.
Is she calico or a turtle?
I guess turtle.
She's torty.
Yeah, she got socks.
So her story, I think
she got
picked up. We think she got picked up by a vulture or something, or a hawk.
Don't you?
She showed up at my mother-in-law's and she was a really tiny kitten, and she called us. She's like, I think we have a kitten over here. We tamed her pretty quick, but she hates being picked up. She'll come up, she'll jump in your lap, but when you pick her up, she just complains the whole time. So we think something dropped.
My cat is. She'll sit on you. You can hold her for like 2 seconds and put you down.
Yeah, cats are like that though.
I love cats.
I do too.
Yeah. I love all animals, man. I
love all animals, but I grew up with cats, so I'm like a cat.
Yeah.
I'm going to be that crazy cat lady when I'm older.
Oh yeah,
we already am.
We are too. Shit, we have 4.
I do too.
Yeah. And one of them is really fat. His name is Lynx. He's really fat. Like he's a very large cat.
Oh. I don't hate cats, but I can't stand them. I don't hate them, but I can't stand them.
You're not a cat person?
No, not by any means. Any stretch of the means.
See, I love them because they leave me the fuck alone. They don't come up. They're not like in my face like, oh, let's play. Pay attention to me. They're like, you do you, bro. I'll come over later and maybe.
Right. Cats are very independent.
Yeah.
Like what she does usually, like if I'm editing or something, she just kind of comes in, chills, but then there's days where she gets into the damn drawers in my desk and starts tearing out paper. She can be pretty destructive.
My cat will get in my underwear drawer. Like if I leave it ajar, she'll get her ass in there and she'll like pick out my underwear. She'll be like, nope, that don't belong in here.
Just throwing it everywhere. Yeah. Same thing with socks.
Yeah.
Socks too. Yeah, just throw them all over the house.
It's like she's digging a tunnel to China. She's just like, dig. Nope, that don't believe it. Nope.
Yep. That and paper towels. They go after paper towels. They rip them up. Toilet
Why?
paper. What's that?
Why do they shred the toilet paper like that?
I don't know.
She
just like in my little closet here, we have cleaning supplies, and they got into oh my God, I don't know how many cats got into it, but there's pieces of paper towel everywhere.
Fun times.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
The toilet paper shortage of 2020, and they're ripping through it.
Yeah. Remember that?
Our cat,
as if there wasn't $10 for a 6-pack.
Our cat leaves me alone and knows better until she gets into heat. And then she's like trying to freaking back it up on my foot. Like every freaking bite. She's like, yeah. And I'm like, dude, get off of me. I'm not your type, trust me.
Yeah, they do that.
And it's funny too, because when she gets in heat, like if I go to the bathroom or something, she'll literally try to shut the door on it, so it's just me and her in the bathroom.
Oh my God!
And yeah, and like, and she'll like keep her distance, and as soon as Jen goes to bed, she's all, oh, she's gone. Hey,
I can hear the living room cat. If you don't get the fuck on, spraying her.
Yeah, I'm about to have a water bottle.
I bought him a water bottle.
Yeah, we have one of those too, because the fat cat likes to jump up on the bar in the kitchen, on the kitchen island.
Mm-hmm.
And we tell him, don't get up there, but we gotta squirt him sometimes because we still catch him on camera in the middle of the night doing it though.
He's like,
yeah.
Where's your squirt bottle now?
Yeah. He knows exactly what he's doing.
Hell yeah, he does.
Oh, that's another good one. Remember Cat's Eye?
Oh,
yes.
yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah. I was showing my kids that the other day, the little troll.
Yeah, the little goblin thingy.
Yeah, that was cool. That was a good movie.
Oh yeah.
The whole thing, like even the freaking smoking one, like.
Yep. Where they chop the chick's pinky off. Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, dude, that was, and then the pecking, that pigeon pecking them, dude. That was like an intense part of. I mean, as a kid, it just made you feel like you were really on the ledge of that building, like.
Right.
I mean, that was a great movie.
It was a good movie. The little goblin thing, like, still like creeps me out if I think about it. You know, even as an adult, because you know that little person that I saw in the woods didn't look exactly like it, but the color of its clothes was kind of similar, that muted earthy tone. So when I saw that, I remember thinking a Cat's Eye when I saw it, and I was like, oh hell no.
There's little people like that.
Yeah.
Like it's the real thing.
Yeah, like little goblins and elves and stuff. And that's why I was afraid to go to sleep that night. I was like, please God, let me go to sleep right away and not have to wake up and pee in the middle of the night, because I don't want to keep my eyes in that thing's like looking in the window at me.
Do you think it was evil or?
No, I don't know. I mean, it didn't even look my direction, which is good. I didn't want it to look my direction. And I didn't want it to notice me noticing it. But it was just walking along. It was minding its own business.
That's cool. Yeah.
And I just remember thinking, and because it was walking towards our camp, and I was like,
no.
Please hook a left into the woods.
Yeah, right. Yeah, do still the other way. Maybe they're interdimensional, like we think the Bigfoot is. It
could be. I mean, I do think that things are on different planes of.
I think so. Yeah. Totally.
You're either vibrating at the right frequency to be able to see stuff, or something.
Yeah, something is up. We haven't even scratched the surface on what's like really going on. When you hear about all these, not to change gears, but there's just so much weird shit out there that we just can't understand. And our government knows about a lot of it.
Oh, heck yeah, they do. Oh, heck yeah, they do.
So, real quick, the Bigfoot thing, I think I told you about this. There was a guy that wrote a book about being a border patrol agent on the border. I believe it was in California, on the border of Mexico. And they were looking for some illegals, and they had to stop looking because they were saying, hey, there's something on the radar that's right next to you and it's very large, and don't move, just leave it be. And Men in Black show up and start questioning that guy and everybody else, and they're like, don't say anything about what you saw, but it wasn't Mexican illegals that they were chasing.
Yeah, I hear a lot of stories about Dogman, like down in the valley with the crossing with the illegals, like border patrol agents supposedly seeing them and running across, the aftermath of it.
Right.
I've definitely heard stories about that.
Yeah, I believe it, because whatever it is, and it's large like that. And why would our, I call them the shadow government, have so much interest in something like that? It's almost like they created it, or they.
Yeah. I mean, I think some of them could have been created. I think some of them could be just naturally occurring. I think some of them could be like the vibrational thing, like you're just vibing at the right vibration and you're witnessing. Right. I think it can be a lot of different things. I don't think it's fair to shove it all into one category.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. That I'd sub to the same thing. It's like same with like UFOs. I think some of them are interdimensional, some of them are government shit. Mm-hmm. Some of them are, it just and then, also even, Project Bluebeam type stuff, where they're just practicing on their, little projections in the sky, getting the technology down,
Yeah. I'd buy that. I mean, I don't know. There's just so much weird shit going on. Shadow governments and conspiracy theories. Like Joe and I kind of talked about it a little bit last night. Conspiracy shit in like the super elite. And I was talking about how, the movie Eyes Wide Shut, 100%, I believe that crap's going on somewhere. Yeah. And it wouldn't surprise me if Kubrick was like just, shining a light on it before he died, right? Like he had a heart attack 6 days after it was,
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, he died like right after. I can't remember if he died right after the release or right after they finished filming.
I think it was before the release, but after the film was wrapped up. Yeah.
Yeah,
so and it wasn't crazy after all.
And then they found that whole little dossier. They did a whole like a documentary / interview with his wife, I think, or his kid. But they found the whole thing where he goes over the whole moon landing and how they hit him up about that and all that shit, Mm-hmm. But and then and it's crazy how I watched earlier an astronaut that was supposed to be in the space station, and he accidentally dropped something, and he's all and like catches it midair. It's like, wait a minute, meow.
Yeah.
I thought you were supposed to be up into space, man.
Engage the sure they didn't have the gravity.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Where you'll see like the blatant freaking cables and stuff that they're on, like they'll get hung up on them, and there's just one of the real good ones to watch is I think it's 1967 or 65. You can look it up on YouTube. It's CBS. I think it's 1967 spacewalk. It's like the first spacewalk ever done, and it is the most blatant, fakest crap you've ever seen in your life. Like it's just unbelievably ridiculous. Yeah, it's crazy.
And that was all Hollywood stage, right? That was
yeah. I mean, but I think it goes even beyond that. I mean, if you look at the original, what is it? Paramount? Is it Paramount or Universal logo? Like that was before they ever seen what the Earth looks like from space.
Right.
But yeah, they nailed it so freaking perfectly on just the intro logo to the movie or whatever movies you were watching. You know, so it's just I don't know, man. There's a lot of crap.
Yeah, you know, we need to do a show on the weird side of Hollywood, dude.
Oh yeah.
Like how demonic it is and stuff. Like there's so much. I've lost so many. Well, I don't call them friends. People have added me over the years on Facebook because of the drone stuff I do, and I like West Texas a lot, and some of these people that were in Hollywood like West Texas too, and they all just kind of like kicked me off Facebook because they're very left, and they say some really horrible things though. Like, okay, if you don't agree with my political, I'm not going to sit there and say, dude, you're this or this is how they are though. They're very almost like they want to come after you type thing because you don't agree with them.
Subscribe to what they're believing.
Right. So one of them, he's not anything. His name is David Shane Duke. He's not in like any kind of like good movies, but he's like a stand-in. He was in True Grit. He was like standing there in the court scene. But he was one of them that threatened my kids, man. And yeah, it was yeah, I don't want to go into it because it's the big C word is in it, but blaming Trump for it, and all I said was, "Hey, man, come on, dude, come on. Why would you say that? That doesn't make sense." And him and his little group just started like, and I'm a Texan, dude. I told him straight up, "Don't you ever let me catch you," because he used to go to Wimberley, Texas a lot. If I catch you at the Devil's Backbone Tavern, I'm going to remind you of this conversation, and I want you to tell me to my face type shit. But he was sat talking crap on my kids, but that's what I guess those Hollywood types do. They just
I could go off on the Hollywood thing, and especially even the spiritual side and the demonic stuff in it, like for a good solid grip. We'll have to set that one.
Yeah, dude, for sure. You know, also, I almost lived with Andy Dick. You remember Andy Dick?
I remember Andy Dick.
Yeah. So when I was in the club scene, I had met him through a mutual friend. That this girl was from LA, and I met a lot of people through her. But he was one of the strange ones. He was.
Yeah, he was cool. I mean, it comes across as him being real weird.
Yeah. I mean, he like when he would hang out with us, he loved us. He wanted me and Tyler and all of us to move in with him in wherever he was in Beverly Hills or whatever. Very bizarre guy though. Just everybody was saying, "Hey, watch
the weirdos like that though." Like I'll push the envelope with like the fringe people. Like I'll push it as far as I can go just to see what happens. You got to do it for the plot, man. You don't get stories sitting at home drinking milk.
Yeah. He was something else. So, but that's that whole weird Hollywood thing, and
I mean, and I think that you just get. Yeah, if you get any modicum of success in Hollywood, I think you just get into your own head and you start believing the hype of yourself, right? And it's all ego, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Do I think that there's a lot of, evil in Hollywood? Yeah, I do. Clearly there is. I mean, there's all these, Me Too movements, and then it's clear that they're abusing children, like child actors for a long time, like back in the 80s and before, like especially. That's
Corey Feldman and
I mean that's who I think of immediately, but that's because it's my generation.
Yeah,
but, I mean I'm sure children before that were and after that were taken advantage of.
Wizard of Oz and all that.
Yeah. And the whole thing's bullshit, and it's all because of money. and perceived power, right? You're making money, so you think you have the power. So, you get it into your head that you can do whatever you want. And I think I mean, Hollywood is prevalent, but I think that's in, any industry. Somebody gets some money and success and people start, telling them how awesome they are. They start thinking it,
Yeah.
And with money comes power. I mean, you can buy your way out of a lot of shit if you got enough money.
It's true. Yeah. I mean, one night oh my gosh, I've never been so scared of my wife. This was years ago. I had put on a demonic Hollywood thing, right, on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
And my wife's like, put something on TV. So we had it on YouTube. I put that on and I fell asleep watching it. You know how YouTube will usually go to the next video and the next video?
Yeah.
Like automatically. Well, we had it, and some videos are louder than others.
Right.
I woke up to a demonic face on my big screen TV in our bedroom, and it was a woman saying, "It burns. Oh my God, it burns. It burns." What it is, it's a exorcism. And dude, I'm not shitting you. I've never been so scared in my life. That woman screaming that, "Jesus, help me, Jesus," and it burns. I woke up and I saw that demonic face, and I immediately started looking for the remote to turn it down. I was shaking. I was like, oh my God. Dude, I turned the TV down and I'm freaking out. I'm like breathing heavy, and I hit the back button and I went on to Netflix and I put on Forrest Gump because I'm so scared to get up out of bed. And all I can remember is that feather floating.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? A movie?
Yeah. Okay. Like you were out. So I told her I was putting on something to go to bed to, and it was a demonic Hollywood, demonic something or another. So in YouTube, it would skip to another one once that show's done, and I'm sleeping. And I woke up to a demonic face because it was an exorcism. And the woman was just screaming, "Oh my God, it burns, Jesus, Jesus," just screaming so frantically. And it was super loud. And that's why I was like, I was freaking out. And I got it on because Forrest Gump was the only thing on Netflix that would kind of calm me down, I think, because it was a happy movie, right? And I just remember watching that feather. And then I reached over and I woke up my wife and I said, "Hey, Hale, you told me if there's anything wrong, I'll wake you up." And she's like, "Yeah, what's wrong?" Dude, I spilled my heart out to her. We smoked back then and we went out front. Dude, I had to have her with me to go down the hallway to turn the light on. I was so scared, dude.
Right.
We went in the front yard and we were smoking cigarettes and I was just watching the sky because I thought, oh my God, the next morning to go to work, I had to turn the dome on because I thought something was behind me. I got goosebumps talking about this, but that was the most fear I've ever felt. And no movie did it. It was that. All because I was watching.
Yeah.
I should.
And there was something probably there behind it making it happen for you, right? I mean,
yeah, that was the most
look up at that time for a reason.
Ugliest feelings I've ever felt, dude. And so for weeks, I was trying to get the courage to look up I found that video. It's on YouTube of that exorcism. But it took weeks for me to get the courage to see what the hell that video was. And I found it, and that's what it is. I thought a ghost put it on. And I wanted to confirm that I'm not going crazy, right. I wanted to make sure, but golly, you talk about an ugly feeling.
Yeah, that Netflix documentary Nightmares, that one got me because
Nightmares.
It hit close. Yeah, it hit close. It's a documentary about night terrors and sleep paralysis and shit, and the Hat Man. And
I get that. Yeah. That sucks, man. I hate sleep paralysis.
It does.
Do you get that too?
Mm-hmm. I remember the first time I got it, I was like 15 or 16, and it scared the shit out of me. It scared me because I'd never heard of it before, right? And I'm laying in bed. I thought I was having seizures because when I was young, it wouldn't just come on. Like a lot of people just wake up and you can't move, right? But it seems like, but when the first like 3 or 4 times I got them when I was a teenager, it would feel like I was coming out of sleep, but then I could feel like my eyes were rolling in the back of my head to the point that it hurt. And then I would get this rushing sound in my ear, like rushing water almost, really loud in my ears. And then I'd get this sensation like pressure rings, like continually, like, just going down my body. And then I would wake up.
Wow.
And, I could see everything in the room, but I couldn't move. And I didn't know what the hell was happening because I couldn't move my body. And I didn't know what sleep. I mean, this was like, 87, ish, 88.
Yeah, that wasn't very common back then.
No, I didn't know what it was. And I was like, what the fuck? I was freaked out. And the first time I just remember, I was like, I don't understand what's happening here. And I remember thinking to myself, I've got to be like, this can't be real. This can't be real. And then the second time it happened, my cat happened to come in the room at the time. And I could hear him meowing, and he jumped up on my bed and coming out of it, like he was on the bed. And I was like, okay, well, like I would come out of the sleep paralysis and then wake myself up and like physically like sit up and look around the room, and everything was the same. And that's when I realized like I'm awake, but I'm like, I can't move. This is weird. And then the third time I think it was, is when I started hallucinating. Like you see the shapes, like the shadow shapes. And that's, when I started, like, I felt like I was floating out of my body, and I was like, oh gosh. And I remember thinking, shit, I'm going to astral project, and I don't want to do that. Cause I mean, I was taught like growing up not to astral project, like if you can help it. And if you do, to not do it for long, because something can come in and inhabit your body. Right. And I remember I could feel myself floating up out of my body. And I was like, whoa, no, I don't want to do this, but I couldn't control it. And there was this crazy, like shadowy form kind of floating like towards us. It wasn't on the ceiling, but it was close to the ceiling. But it was really, I just remember thinking, this can't be real, because it was shadowy, but like where the head was and where the hands and the feet would be were just like rounded, like just rounded. They weren't like
it didn't have hands and shit.
Yeah, it didn't have hands and feet or like a head. It just had like a round thing, almost like a stick figure with rounded head and a rounded hand. And I remember floating up, and I attached to it, and then it kept moving up, and I was still attached to it. And I remember like doing everything I could to try to move my body to wake up, because I did not want to like leave my body, because I'm like, I don't want something sliding in there.
Hell no, dude.
So I just remember like trying like how to like twitch my foot or like move my hand, just something, because any kind of movement really is what wakes you up out of it.
Right.
And yeah, that freaked me out. And then when I moved to Texas, I was dating my first husband at the time, and that's when I got attacked when I had a sleep paralysis.
Attacked?
Like attacked. And it was crazy, because I was laying there, and I go through the thing, and I'm like, okay, at this point, I know what sleep paralysis is. And then I'm like, okay, it's a stupid ass sleep paralysis. I just have to like wait it out until I fall back asleep and I can wake back up. Right. So I'm laying there and I'm looking around. I mean, I'm looking around, and the bedroom door was open and the hall light was on. So there was light coming through the little, open door. Right. And so the door was open, and the closet is like back on this side behind the door. Right. So it's a little bit darker, and he had his closet door open. And I remember I'm looking at the hall light, and I'm just kind of looking around, and I look over to the closet, and it's open. And then I really like focus on the closet, and I think, well, that's a lot darker than it should be. That's a lot darker than it should be.
Oh, shoot.
And the minute I thought that, like this thing, like just, I didn't see it. It was just like a presence like comes out, and it pins me. And I remember physically going back on the bed, and it felt like there was a forearm, like he was like forearming me across my chest, and my head was kind of turned at the time. And I remember feeling like a hand pushing my face, like in my head, into the pillow. So I've got a forearm and a hand, like it's doing this to me. And it's like this dialogue is going through my head, but it's not my inner voice. Like, you know what you sound like. You think to yourself. It's not like my own voice. It's not me. And it's like got this continual dialogue in my head, like calling me names, telling me it's going to kill me, telling me all this other crazy shit. And I can feel this weight like trying to sink into me. And I'm pushing up as hard as I can, like energetically, I guess. I don't know. But like I'm pushing up and it's trying to sink in and I'm pushing up. And I've got this crazy, like, demented dialogue going through my head the whole time, and I've got the pressure like just right here across my shoulders, and then pushing my face into the pillow, and I'm like desperately just pushing, but like trying to wake up and pushing, and it's sinking, and it was this whole tug of war kind of thing, like it's trying to sink in and pushing back. And finally I wake up and I sit up and I get up and I walk around because I'm afraid to go back to sleep.
Right. Yeah. I would be too.
I'm like, I just fucking got attacked, and we knew this place was haunted already, like with his sister and he and his.
So the house was haunted.
The house was definitely haunted.
So that happens in like a haunted house type thing. That's not just
I guess. I mean, I'd never been anywhere like where I had sleep paralysis and that happened.
Yeah, I haven't experienced that. I hope I never do.
I mean, it's not crazy. Like if it's just I can't move. It's insane when something like freaking physically or whatever spiritually attacks you. And what's crazy, because I would have chalked it up to just like a bad like sleep paralysis experience. But 2 weeks later, he was my boyfriend at the time, my husband's sister. So my sister-in-law, her boyfriend was sleeping, in their room one night, and he got attacked just like I did. And they ended up having to call 911 on him. Because like something happened and like his appendix burst, something happened. And he's like, Monica, he goes, I'm telling you, he's like, I got attacked. He said, he goes, I was having a dream where something had me by the back of the head, and it was taking me around the house, and everybody was like cut up and there was blood all over the walls. He's like, and it's telling me to get out, and all of you need to get out, or this is what's going to happen. And after I got attacked, I refused to stay in that house anymore. I was like, that shit.
I think I'm going to go to church Sunday, dude.
Right. And then he got attacked, and then he refused to sleep there again. Like, I can call him right now and he'll be like, oh yeah, I remember that.
Dude, that's crazy.
And I refused to go back into the house. There was one time I only went back into that house one more time. And what happened, his mother still lived there. And, we all just were like, fuck this. We moved. And they had one of those, like security alert things that you'd put on the sliding glass door, right? So if it moves, it makes the beeping noise.
Right.
Yeah. So the thing had fallen off. So my husband went over there with some epoxy, and he was, putting it back up on the sliding glass door. And I wouldn't go past the kitchen, right? I was like, I'm walking in because the garage door was right there in the kitchen. I think I went to they had like a bar top, and I sat at the bar top while he was doing that. And he put the epoxy on it and he held it up on the door. I mean, and we were talking while he was holding it up, and he was holding it there for a minute, and he took his hand away, and, it stayed. He's like, okay. And I'm like, I want to get out. Like, I don't want to stay here. So he, the blinds for the sliding glass door that do this.
Right.
So he put them flat, to like block out it was at night, but he put them flat and closed them all the way. And he was halfway across the room. He was like right behind me, and I heard a pop, and I heard the shutters or whatever they are, blinds move, and that magnetic thing like had landed like right next to him on the floor across the room.
Holy cow!
And I was like, "We're done."
Yeah, dude. I wonder what happened in there.
Yeah, I have no idea what happened.
Scary.
Yeah, it was really scary. And I drove by that house because that whole, like, when I have stuff like that happen, like I don't want to go near that part of town. I don't want to look at it. I don't want to see it on a map. But I had to go to like a project. I had a job somewhere and I was like, you know what? You know, the traffic was backed up. It was taking me down these back roads. I was like, this is real close to where, you know, Kenny's mom lived, whatever the house was. So I drove by that house just to see if I could like pick up anything. And I didn't, but I just remember driving by that house thinking, I wonder if the people that live there now are having the same kind of bullshit.
Yeah, it makes you you get curious about it.
Yeah.
Even though it's you know, it's so hard to witness that. I wouldn't be able to go back in it.
No, hell no. After I got attacked, I was like, that shit, I'm not going. And then my brother-in-law gets attacked like 2 weeks later, and he was like, peace out, yo, I ain't going back in
no
there.
Shit, I would have done the same thing. I would have put, if that was my house, I would have put it on the market, dude. Or
I think they rented it. But yeah, she doesn't believe in that kind of stuff. And I guess, you know, belief in it has some.
You know, I think that if you don't really believe in stuff like that, I don't think stuff happens to you. I've noticed that, like some of my relatives and stuff.
You just but to receive it, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, but what a lot of times is what it is it's your belief in. If you're a non-believer in anything, then it doesn't have to scare you because it's got you. You know what I mean? So, like if you believe in, you know, Christianity and the soul and heaven and hell, then, you know, then it leaves you alone because it's already got you. You don't have to worry about it. But if you're a believer, you know, in God or Christ, then it's gonna attack you because it's gonna try to scare you into going away from your faith into that shit, because you're supposed to confront it, you know, in Christ's name, and you know, and then that's what it doesn't like.
Yeah, I just called ass. Yeah. You can have it. You can stay here. Keep your furniture here. None of your furniture is coming over to my apartment.
Yeah, hell no, dude.
Shit.
Yeah, I went back to the haunted house that I grew up in I want to say I was in my 30s. I was taking my fiance at the time through my old neighborhood, and stopped by. I was like, I just want to see what they say, you know. And so I stopped by, knocked on the door. I was like, yeah, I used to live here when I was a kid. And I was like, did y'all see it? Y'all ever see anything? And it was like a bunch of stoners, and they had like a band. They're like, nah, dude, we play too much music, man. We don't see nothing, man. I'm like, yeah, I fucking bet you don't. Like, you got one rolled? Hook me up, bro. But yeah, so I didn't get a straight answer on that one. But even after that house, after we moved out of it, because not my best friends, but really, really good friends. Sometimes we were enemies because we lived too close to each other. But they lived on the other side of the fence for me, because we had a corner house and I had a privacy fence. And I used to go stay the night at their crib, you know, and even though we moved all the way to Round Rock, and we'd go back over when it was still abandoned and break into it, you know, and just hang out like in an abandoned house. And yeah, even then, like all the activity would start back up. I would be like, nah, dude, I've done this for years. I'm good. I'm getting the hell out of here. Because
it's you, Joe. I mean, I do believe that some people will like spark that. Like, I think some people, I don't want to say they're haunted, but you attract that kind of thing.
Right. Because well, I think yeah, because I believe a lot of, if it's not like residual, you know, spirits or energy or whatever, you know, and it's an actual, then you're talking like energy vampire type. Yeah. So it goes, ooh, you know, I got somebody to scare. I can get some, you know, I can get some sonic gold rings out of it. You know what I mean?
We're some energy vampires.
Yeah. But I think that thing was because it would sit there and watch you, because we had a big sliding glass window, and we had a big sideways open window in the kitchen. And like if you were doing dishes, or if you know, it was nighttime or whatever, and you look in the sliding glass door because we didn't have a curtain. Yeah, you'd see a dude behind you, you know, but you couldn't make out his face, but like he'd be chilling on the wall or leaning up against the wall.
He'd be chilling out
like,
of the house.
Yeah, he'd be like, see him,
Right.
and he'd be like watching what was that? What was her freaking name? She was like the hot hostess for USA Up All Night.
Oh, Wanda. Was it Wanda? Was it? No, Rhonda Shear. Yeah.
Yeah. And I'd be like, yeah, watching like, you know, like a Vice Squad girls go to jail or some shit like that. You know, like, yeah.
I remember Joe Bob back in the day. Like back in the day.
Dude, Joe Bob, I met Joe Bob and got to pick his brain.
Yeah, the guy on late night.
Yeah.
Briggs, yeah.
Dude.
He's a really cool dude. Really cool.
Yeah,
dude.
shit, yeah, man. Is he still around?
Yeah. I saw he came out to Cult Classics year before last.
Badass,
yeah, I got to pick his brain. So I don't know if y'all remember the movie Chopping Mall.
Yes,
I've heard of it. Yeah.
Yeah. And I always thought it was weird because no one gets chopped up. They don't have saws. You know what I mean? They have lasers.
Yeah, I thought it was lasers and like little robots that are patrolling. Yeah. And
then I was talking to Jake about it, and he's a movie buff.
Oh yeah.
And he's like, no, I remember we went to a mom and pop video thing when we were kids, and they had Chopping Mall, but it was called Laser Bots.
That's more.
It wasn't called Chopping Mall. Yeah, so I had Joe Bob up, and I was like, all right, man. I was like, him and Darcy the mail girl were there, and sweet Jesus.
Lyle got to me.
Sorry, I almost had a moment. What was that? Damn. Okay. All I can think about is her adult movies. But yeah, he was like, yeah, what they did is they screened it as laser bots, and I want to say in South Korea or in Vietnam, and like everyone liked it, but they didn't like the name, and so he said that whenever they did the stateside review, that they just changed the name to Chopping Mall for whatever reason, but it was originally called Laser Bots, and he was like intrigued about it because he's like, dude, you can't find, you know, a VHS version of Laser Bots in the US is like very, very rare. So whoever had that, you know, they had some serious money in their pocket and didn't even know it. Another one is if anyone still has the original VHS, the first editions of Jaws, that's supposed to be a really, really sought after, financially worthy piece of
Really?
Yeah, it's supposed to be worth $2. Yeah.
Cool. Like I said, I've got the Howling and I've got the Resurrected. Some love the Resurrected. If you haven't seen the Resurrected, find the Resurrected and watch it because it's so.
And that's
so
from.
So back to the 80s. So okay, so what was y'all's rides? Like what was your, because I know we all had like our favorite, you know, whether it was bikes or skateboards, but then within those, we all had the one that, you know, that was your, you know, hot rod, so to speak, or your badass vehicle of choice.
I can tell you mine was a Chrome BMX.
Bikes and skateboards?
Yeah. Like when you were a kid, you know.
I know what you're talking about. God, I'm going to date my. Okay, so roller skates were my thing.
Yeah.
I could do like all kinds of tricks with them. Like we had this place in town called Starskate, and that was like where you went on like Friday nights and Saturday nights. You went to Starskate, especially in junior high. So that was my thing. I mean, I had a bike. I had a 10-speed. So I had my 10-speed, but then I had my roller skates.
Was it like the traditional 10-speed with the curled handlebars, or like the mountain bike style?
It had the oh gosh, you know what? I don't remember. I think it had the curled handlebars.
Yeah,
because those were the first.
Those
were the,
yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Everything
was like pencil thin on that thing.
Yeah,
but I didn't have the. You remember they had the boys where it had like the straight bar across, and they had the girls where it was. I had the boys' bike, and let me tell you, if you slip off of that seat and land on that bar,
we know.
It doesn't matter if you're a boy or a girl.
Yeah, we know. You know why that is? You know why? Because I always thought, like when I was a kid, like why wouldn't you make the boys with the lower so they don't rack their nards?
That's what I thought too.
but the real reason for that is for it's for the, how would you call them, the pedos. It was because when a girl was wearing a dress, when they lifted their leg over the height of it, they try to catch a peek. You know what I mean? And so if you just stepped into it and then got up on the seat.
Oh, that's why they did that?
Yeah. It was literally from.
I wasn't riding a bike in a skirt.
yeah. But it was to hide panty shots, basically.
I was, definitely a tomboy. That was.
So like what about you? What about you? What was your mean machine?
It was a Chrome BMX. It was always a Chrome BMX. I don't know. It was like I got a Chrome BMX when I was really young, and then it got stolen, and then I don't even know how I got it, the other one. But I always rode Chrome BMXs. I was a big BMX bike rider, and then I was a skater in middle school, but I never was very good at skateboarding.
Oh, that's cool. I always wanted to. I always tried. I tried like hell, but I just couldn't.
Yeah, I mean, so I'm from a small town called Marion, and the roads are all fucked up. So skateboarding in Marion is just kind of like it's not really happening. There's very few roads. And back then, they were very, oh God, everybody hated
they hated it.
They hated it.
They hated skateboards everywhere. I can assure you it was a hatred in California as well.
Oh, yeah. But now they get these kids to have skate parks. We used to build our own half pipes and shit because and that's what we did in shop class. Me and my friends got together and we built the freaking ramp and shit because they couldn't skate anywhere. Well, imagine us freaking poor kids skating in a those are 1-car garages. So that was a 1-car driveway. I can't believe we made this shit work.
Oh, yeah.
Real.
Oh, yeah. There was a big quarter pipe that was like way out in the woods. And we used to skate that. And then we'd find like in the city where they'd have like the big storm drainage ditches. And we turned those into freaking, our half pipes and shit.
Oh yeah.
But I was a big skater. Skateboard, I used to ride Santa Cruz and Dogtown mostly.
Oh wow! I didn't know you were a skater, dude.
Oh yeah, dude.
I can totally see that.
I got my skateboard over there.
Hey, dude. Heck yeah, man. He's still skating.
Yeah, well, dude, now I rebuilt this board. Hang on, let me get it for you. I'll show you.
Got the old school bike too, man.
Right?
Heck yeah.
So I built this board. It's got all the original like Pal Peralta wheels.
Wow.
Shit, like it's all vintage, and it's back to the original dimensions, but it's all metal. It's completely metal fucking board. Because remember Gleaming the Cube?
Yeah, I remember that movie.
Yeah. So I always wanted a metal board, and now I got one.
Hell yeah. Badass.
But But and then my bike. Well, I had a few of them, but my favorite, I had a Murray Street Machine with like badass mags on it.
Oh, I remember the mag wheels.
Yeah.
Those plastic ones.
Yeah, and then but then me and my friend, we thought we were like, we basically had our own little chop shop. So we'd go around, but we weren't complete dicks. Like, so for every bike that we stole, we left them a bike. You know, like, and they were nice bikes because we'd go and we'd put them together, and
that's what we did too.
Yeah, and then you'd be riding down the street, you see one, and you're like, "Ooh, here, you can have mine."
Yeah.
But yeah, so we had like mongooses and what was the other ones? Mongoose and stingrays. All sorts of shit. We ended up getting raided by the police. They showed up and we had a room full of freaking with 30 frames and
dude, you got raided by the cops?
Yeah, because we left the garage open and they're driving by and they're like, why is there like 30 freaking bike frames hanging from the ceiling and a whole stack of tires and a whole stack of sprockets and
yeah, we used to use every part, like we would swap them out.
Yeah, exactly. And then like the gyros came out. I don't know if y'all remember the gyros. To where you do the 360 on your spin your handlebars. Yeah, those are the shit, man. I used to love that. But you get on one of those things, man, back then, and you'd find yourself clear across town, like no one knows where the fuck you are. You're just you're so no parents know.
Hell no. Yeah. I mean, my parents did because they were like, I don't know, maybe because I was a girl, they gave a shit. But generally speaking, I mean, the 10 o'clock news would come on at night, y'all. And if you weren't an 80s kid, you don't know this. The 10 o'clock news would come on at night and they're like, it's 10 o'clock. Do you know where
your children are?
Yeah. They'd have all these celebrities be like, it's 10 o'clock. Do you know where your children are? You person. You gave them a key to get in on their own after school. Did you bother to see if they ate anything and actually went to bed?
Right. Now, I remember when I was so young, whenever I first was a Latchkey kid, that I actually had like a special pair of pliers to open up back then they had 3 liters and they had metal caps. But I'd have a special pair of pliers to open my 3 liter up to get soda because I was too little. I was like first grade, you know what I mean? And God forbid if you freaking lost your key or left it somewhere and you're locked out until your parents got because you're locked out
around your neck. Yeah.
And then what I learned to do is I'd loop it through itself, like make like a little, put the loop through my belt loop and then put it in my pocket. So that way, even if it came out of my pocket, it was still hooked to my belt loop.
Mm-hmm. But I remember getting locked out of my house once when I was in elementary school, and I knew that how to pop the window because it was those sliding windows in my bedroom. Like you grab it, and that's how it locked. Like you'd grab it, and it was like a hair clip almost, right? So you'd grab it, and it would disengage, and you could slide it.
Yes. I know exactly.
I knew if I where it met the frame, if I pounded on it and pushed the glass really hard, I opened my window, so I'd break into my own house if I forgot my key.
Yeah.
That's very 80s. Those old school. Yep. Actually, that house that I just had those windows in it still.
Oh my gosh, time for another.
Yeah. I know those very well.
But yeah, I mean, I even remember we had I can't remember the name of it. It was a skating rink, Skate World, and I was getting it mixed up with the one that my kids go to, but they actually had a quarter pipe for skateboarding in there also, like inside of it.
Yeah.
And so we'd go but everyone would, that's where all you go on Friday, Saturday nights and get into it, get into fights and try to make out with girls, and so people would end up wrecking their shit on that thing. Too many broken bones, so they ended up taking it out.
Yeah, if it's not safe, they're gonna remove it real quick.
But yeah, and that was literally on the corner of North Lamar and Rutland Drive. And for anybody who's from Austin knows that's like, especially back then, that was the hood of the hood. Like, you don't go anywhere near there after dark, let alone until midnight on a Friday night, then having to walk all the way home when you're like in 5th fucking grade, like, that was some, now that I look back on them, like if my kids were trying to be pulling that shit, I'd be like, hell no, you ain't going anywhere near there, dude.
No.
You lost your damn mind. But we were just like, hey, dude, thinking we're little badasses.
We don't know back then. That's the same thing with me. Like, there's places, I'm from the south side of San Antonio, and my nephew, the tall one that came in here, he was getting a tattoo done, and he was going to take my oldest son with him. And I said, yeah, that's fine. Where's it at? They said the South Presa, which is south side of San Antonio. No, you're not taking my kid to the south side. That's a bad part of town.
When you used to go there yourself, right?
Oh yeah, all
you
the
used
time.
to run around the neighborhood. You wouldn't let your kids anywhere near now, right?
Exactly.
I grew up like in a rough part of our town, which I'm sure it's nothing like, it wasn't a big major city like San Antonio, so I'm sure it wasn't anything compared to
the one in by San Francisco.
Well, it was north of San Francisco. But, yeah, but it was still like the rougher part of town. But I mean, that's where I grew up when I was, when I was young. We moved when I was like in 8th grade. I transferred to it like a lot better part of town.
Yeah,
that's where I grew up. And man, like, we used to walk home from school, like no big deal. Nobody gave a shit, and I used to sneak out at night. I used to roam those streets in the dark when I was like 12 and 13 years old. I remember it. I remember like hiding in the bushes from the cops. I remember.
We did that too. We had curfew.
Yeah.
We had curfew back then.
We probably did. I didn't.
Yeah, we'd go in when it was time to go in, and then we'd play video games. So, like, Nintendo. I call it video games, but
Nintendo.
Play Nintendo until you're sure the parents were asleep, and then we'd sneak out through the garage. We'd just crack the garage door open, roll underneath it, and then it was you roam around the neighborhood all night, and then you'd play killer cars. So anytime you saw headlights, it's run and jump in a bush, or hide behind a tree.
Hide behind other cars. Yeah, you had to dress dark. It was foggy some nights, like where we were, so that helped. And I remember one night it's not like you were going anywhere in particular. You're just like roaming the freaking streets at like 3 a.m. Right? Yeah. My father had maneuvers one weekend, and I had snuck out, and I'm just like roaming around, like down by this. There was a donut shop on one corner, and there was like a tire store on the other. And I saw the headlights coming down like the main street, and I'm hiding behind the sign for the tire store, and it was my freaking dad, because I remember kind of peeking around the corner, and it's my dad, and he's making the turn onto our street, and a cop comes from the other direction and shines a fucking spotlight on me. What? And I just, like, my father, I guess, had gone far enough away. I just remember like kind of hopping out of the bushes and like woohoo, like walking down the street. Cop drives on. There's a 11, 12-year-old kid at 3 a.m. just like hopping out of the bushes.
Holy shit.
Girl, by the way.
Yeah, right.
Just walking like down the road. And I remember there was this one house like on the main street that we would come down, and there were these two gross, like, I called them hillbilly guys, but I mean, they were just these old, like they had to have been in their 40s. And I just remember that, like, the greasy white, like, wife beater shirt that was like dirty. They had their beer in their hand. And it was me and my friend, and I was like 12 and she was like 14. And they're like, hey, you want to come on over here? And I was like, your cat, a kid, you fucking bird. But I mean, I think back to all this crazy like shit that we did, and it's amazing to me that like worse things didn't happen.
I know, dude, for real.
Because I mean, we were exposed to some crazy stuff.
Heck yeah, man. That's
I had two I don't know if I've told y'all either one of y'all that. I think I did it on one of the shows, but 2 kidnapping when I was a kid incidences that it was like, dude, barely made it through. You know, like one of them.
You got kidnapped?
Yeah. One I got snatched up. Like I was walking.
Dude, he legit got you?
Yeah. Oh yeah. They had the car waiting down like half a block up the road, and I was just walking home, and I was like, what the fuck is that car doing? Just, idling. It was the middle of the night, and I felt it. Dude grabbed me from behind and snatched my ass up, and I was kicking, dude. And I was like, I hate to say it, but I'm not gonna lie. I was like, get somebody else. It's not me. Like, just not me,
motherfucker.
But yeah, I started kicking and screaming and making a bunch of shit, and like porch lights started kicking on, and so he dropped me and hauled ass.
Oh shit.
And then another time I was walking home from my school, 6th grade, and on the side of the road, now it's a bar, but they used to have where they put like all the fireworks stands when it's off season, you know what I mean? Like a fireworks stand storage lot, I guess. And I was walking, so there's a bridge. I'm on North Lamar, and I'm coming across the bridge, and I just get like this weird feeling, man. And I'm like, dude, like something's making the hair on my neck stand up. And I'm like, man, something ain't right. And I look over, and like behind one of those little fireworks stands, I see a dude like peeking over and do like that. And I was like, yeah, nope. So I start breaking it across the street, and it was I think it was 2 lanes at the time, but it was a pretty busy street. So I start breaking across the street, and this Mexican dude comes, and he's matching my pace, starts come parallel with me on the street. But dude, I was one of those kids. I ran from cops every freaking weekend. I ran from, I could hop fences like nobody's business. So I was like, oh, dude, you're toast, man. I was put on the jets, as we call it, kicked on jets. And freaking, I was hopping back fences and going through backyards. And and finally about, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 blocks away, I got away. He wasn't anywhere to be seen. So I was like, damn, dodged another one.
Yeah,
dude,
hell yeah.
That happened to me once. Somebody tried to kidnap me, tried to lure me into their car one time.
Really?
And then as an adult, I think somebody tried to kidnap me once. But
as an adult?
Yeah.
No shit?
Yeah. He was like, get in the car. I want to show you something. And I was like, okay. Because he was an acquaintance, so I didn't think anything of it, right? But I mean, I got a weird feeling. So I was like, why'd you wait for everybody to leave camp before you like wanted to show me your special place? All right. And then like in the bushes peeing, and she came out, and I was like, look, dude, like you don't have to do it, but I would really appreciate it if you got in the back of this truck right now.
Yeah, no kidding. Dude, there's some weird fucking creeps, man.
Yeah, there are.
I saw one. I don't even want to talk about it, honestly. Oh,
that's cool.
Hey,
now that but whatever.
Say hi to Monica.
Hi, Monica.
Hi.
You going to bed or what?
No, I'm watching the movie.
Are you watching Chainsaw Massacre?
Heck yeah.
That's the man right there. Won't have nightmares, right?
Gonna have a job next summer.
Love you.
Get him a job at the gas station.
Yeah, hey,
it was off film.
Yeah, in the 90s when I was growing up, I was in that small town of Marion, Texas. We used to, oh my God, the cops would fuck with us so bad. They would throw us on the cop cars. They would search us all the time. So we would fuck with the cops too. And that's what we would do. We would stay out all night and go. I remember one night we climbed into the tree. We had some rainbow stickers. And we climbed up in the tree in front of City Hall. When the cops would come, we would make noises and shit. And we put those rainbow stickers on the back of their cop cars, dude. They knew it was us, but we did shit like that. Like, we saw, we thought we were going to get snatched one time, but it wasn't. We didn't get snatched, but the car was following us around, which was weird because back then you couldn't wake up parents because we weren't supposed to be out anyway.
Right.
Just, nothing we could really do about it. So we would I remember we camped out in the backyard that night and we were scared to go to sleep because we were walking around. We had our shirts off like we were bad. We had bandanas on. We were probably 11 or 12 years old. We just thought we were fucking cool, and that car came and they said something and they came back around. We just booked it, but it was a spooky feeling. Like,
yeah,
I just don't understand like how people can
that's a weird time too, especially when you start getting old enough to where you can be considered as a young gang member, and all of a sudden you're not dealing with like the creeps. You're walking around at night and you run into like the gangsters, the older teenagers. They're just looking for someone's ass to whoop, Yeah. It's like, wait, we changed movies here. we went from Monster Squad to Menace to Society.
Yeah.
It was crazy. I think the cops in every town just fuck with kids, like especially back.
Yeah. Oh, it is.
I'm sure they still do it, but I remember one night we snuck out, and the same friend that I used to do all that with, because she lived down the street from me at the time. We met these guys at like the elementary school that wasn't far away, and we were just shooting the shit. Like we weren't doing anything. I think that she wandered off with. She had a crush on some dude, so they wandered off, and I'm just sitting in. Because they were all open hallways, right, in California.
Right.
So we were just like in the hallway talking, and I had like snuck a beer or something, and I had it wrapped in like a sock. So I had the sock like in my pocket, and he was just being stupid and like kicking doors and just being dumb. Well, he set off the silent alarm.
Oh shit!
The freaking cops roll up, right? And I remember I had to like stand on the wall with my hands. And I'm like 13, right? I had to stand on like with my hands and my legs apart, and they kind of patted me down, and then they're like, they pulled the sock out of my pocket. They're like, we think you were trying to break in and you were using this sock to wipe your fingerprints off.
Shit.
Like, dude, I'm 13. Like, I just got out of this thing. Why would I break in? Like, it was beyond me why somebody would break into a school.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, I got handcuffed. I got put in the back of a squad car.
Oh, shit.
And they let the boys go. They just told them to leave, like, turned them loose. But they drove me and my friend home.
Oh, wow.
And, like, pounded on the door until our parents, like, opened the door.
Holy shit.
Yeah. And I was like, you motherfucker. And I remember my stepmother was pissed that they drove us home but let the boys go.
Yeah.
And he was like, why don't you let them go? You should just let them go.
Yeah, you should just let them go.
What shit is that?
Right? Good.
I remember the first time I ever got put into the back of a cop car. I was in second grade, right? And we went up to the little corner store about a block or two from my house, and they were supposed to have the new Garbage Pail Kids series in.
I remember
Garbage Pail Kids. Yeah, I was a big I loved Garbage Pail Kids, but they didn't have it. So, dude, me and my friend went outside and just started pelting rocks at this dude's car. The owner or the worker at the shop. And not being dumbass little kids, we didn't realize, throw a few in and haul ass, So we're just out there for probably 10, 15 minutes, just, pegging away at his car. And they put us in the back seat, and they drove my friend David home first. And then they were driving me up to, and I knew it. I was like, man, my mom is going to beat the ever-loving shit out of me.
Oh, yeah.
Because that's what she did. Like, I can tell you stories about spiked belts that'll make you cringe. but electrical cord, shit, you name it. But I just remember going, if I can get to that shotgun in the front before you can get to my mom's house, I'll be in the clear.
Take a murder rap, just
I'd rather been on the run for the rest of my life than deal with my mom.
Isn't that weird? That's like I don't whip my kids. My wife is the yeller.
Yeah.
But it's weird because like we were all like,
oh, dude,
fuck out of, and
I mean, yeah, no, I'm old school. Like I would spank my kids got spanked, but my kids are generally well behaved. I think I just terrify them.
Yeah, the woman does. That's why my wife is able to, like, if these guys act up, which they do, I will tell, dude, I'm gonna call your mom, man.
It's the opposite. Wait till your mom gets
like, she'll knock the shit out of them, like here and there, like she'll, like, if she has to.
Yeah.
She'll knock.
Like I used to make my kids walk home from school. I'm like, get your ass to walk. I had to walk.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly.
And I remember my daughter had this one friend, and her mother, like no matter where she was, her mom would come pick her up. And I'm like, you can freaking find a way home. You found your way there. You can figure out how to get home.
Yeah.
And she was telling her mother, like, oh, Gillian's mom doesn't, like pick her up from school or doesn't do something. And she's like, yeah, she's an old school mom. She's old school.
Yeah, make her ass walk.
Yeah. No, it's funny how they told you that too. They weren't like specific. They're like, if you can get your ass there, you can get your ass back. But they weren't like, just make sure it's with a parent of a friend, or just make sure it's. They're just like, I don't give a shit. Get your ass back.
Get your ass better be here before
that included strangers.
That.
That included strangers and
some
15-year-old kid. You're right. Free candy.
Right on the hood.
Right on the hood.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, it's these kids are different these days, and we got this bully problem now, and well, no,
asshole.
We all grew up
in school.
We had to grow up tough. That's the difference between us and this new generation that's coming up. Is like I tell my kids, dude, I've been through all this shit. I know middle school sucks. Middle school's hard. It's like the hardest. When I was
worse back then.
Oh yeah, dude, yeah, because there wasn't no, like, you can't tell a teacher, hey, these guys are picking on me. You just gotta face it.
Figure it out.
It's like prison rules.
Yeah, dude, could you imagine like narking somebody out? Oh my god,
dude.
Mitch.
Even now, like, so my oldest he just got 2 weeks left of school and he got suspended for fighting in the bathroom. But I give him credit because this was a kid that was picking on him a lot. And I had said, well, I'm going to go up to that fucking school. And of course he's like, Dad, don't do nothing. Don't do nothing. But, he's like, he doesn't want to sound like a bitch, dude. He doesn't want to sound like he's snitching.
Right.
But I gave him shit about it. I said, dude, if he's messing with you, give it right back to him. And I'll be damned, he sure as fuck did.
My son,
yeah. When I was a kid, the most ironic shit in the world, and I'm talking when I was like, early kid, like first, second grade, up into third grade. And after that, I pretty much stopped because I'd caught on. But like, if anyone said anything about my mom, like it was on like Donkey Kong and a fistful of quarters. Like I would, like I literally, I remember I punched a teacher for getting in between me and another kid because he was talking about my mom. Because I was in trouble already, so they made you take encyclopedia books and you'd have to hold them in each arm, and hold them up, until you got tired. And he said something about my mom, and man, I went off. But every time I went and got into a fight for trying to defend my mother, when I got home, that same woman would beat the living tar out of me. She'd be like, I don't care what they say about me. Whack. I told you to whack. You know, and I'm like,
man,
dude, I was defending you. That's it. Fine. I'm not going to say. I'm going to join into your mama jokes now.
My dad always told me, don't start it, but finish it. He's like, don't start the fight, but if somebody picks one with you, you better figure out how to finish that fight.
Yep.
Yeah, my son, like, he's so quiet and passive, but let me tell you, that is my child, because he was at like this, like the Boys and Girls Club over the summer last year, and they were having some kind of pep rally, you know, and they were doing this like in the bleachers. Well, the kid shoulder checked his ass, and he shoulder checked him back.
Good.
So the kid pushed him, and Lucas came up and full on just nailed the kid like right in the jaw. And then, you know, that kid, you know, started crying like a little brat, and I was like, fuck yeah. I was like, that little shit pushed me. I was like, yeah, I'm not mad at you. I was like, you want me to show you how to punch? I was like, you find your center of gravity and you plant your feet. I was like, you follow through. You don't pull back. You follow through like you're hitting behind.
Yeah. You got to teach them like that. They got to don't take shit on nobody. You know, I never did when I was young. And it was funny. I was at the gym yesterday, and this big old guy, I mean, he is like almost 7 feet tall, if not over 7. Big old guy. And he's a little younger than me, and he was giving it, you know, like taking the punches, and I was giving them right back. I don't know.
Yeah.
We were raised different, you know.
I mean, slap, I punch. My brother and I used to beat the shit out of each other.
Yeah.
I remember he used to just, he had ADHD so bad, my little brother. He was just like, he was a terror, like a legit terror back in the day. And I just remember we were wrestling, right? And I had him pinned down, right? So I was kind of holding him, and he swung up and caught me like right in the like joint of my jaw.
Oh,
good
and
one.
I was like, you little mother. And I just popped him so hard, just bam, right in his eye. I gave him his first black eye. I mean, we used to box. Like my brother and I used to beat the shit out of each other.
That'll toughen you up.
Yeah,
that'll definitely toughen you up.
I mean, yeah, it was so common. We had a word for it. It's called getting jawed. I'm like, dude, I'll jaw you right now.
Yeah,
you know, like it was. Just
I never heard that one.
Really, dude? That was big, dude. Be like, dude, I will jaw the shit out of you.
I really don't like punching people. I don't like the way it feels. I don't like that.
Yeah.
That fleshy feeling.
I don't know. It used to feel good.
I started playing a baseball bat.
Well, I don't know. Like when you're older, you don't like, you know, like my wife was telling me today, because she's got a piece of shit brother, and he's deadbeat dad and shit. He's just, but she kept saying like, well, if you ever get a hold of him, and I told her, I said, Haley, I don't want to do any of that shit. Because it shit hurts a lot worse, you know, when you're 45 and trying to,
right?
I'm pretty sure I'll win the fight because he's a little shit, but it's not.
You feel it.
It's not even worth it. It's not even worth it.
Right. And then there's all the legal charges. Like as an adult, you're like,
right.
How much time is that? Like it's
and he's that type that like he's all up cops' asses, you know, all the time. Like he's all buddy with cops, and he's exactly that type that if you went after him, he'd get his buddy that's on duty right now. And I always worry about that because I don't really like cops.
No.
Why?
Well, because sometimes how they kind of come across, you know, they just kind of, it's like you wonder why. We were always harassed by them. Oh, okay. So the other night, get this shit. I'm a licensed drone operator. I have been for years. I know the laws. I know all this shit. So my kids rolled an ATV back here in the woods, and it was Sunday, and it poured down rain. And what do you tell kids? Hey, don't go riding that. It just rained all day. What do? They go ride it, and they get it stuck. So we have to flip this thing multiple times to get it back on its, tires. And now it gets stuck again. So long story short, I said, let's leave it out here in the woods. You guys can go back and forth, and they're like covered in mud. Go back and shovel the mud off of it all until it gets dark. Well, it starts getting dark. My kids don't take their phones with them. And now I'm hearing coyotes. So I take my drone and I fly it, and it's got a really bright spotlight on it. So I find my kids, and they're starting to walk back. I can see one of them has like a flashlight. So I'm following them with this spotlight. Here comes a cop. And he's like, what kind of drone you got? I said, that's a Mavic 3. He goes, oh. I said, let me guess, you're one of those cops. And I was being funny. I said, let me guess, you're one of those cops that's going to tell me it's illegal to fly this. Well, it is illegal. Oh, my God. Here we go. Yeah. No, it's not. And, you have to educate these guys because they think they're FAA or something. They're just
right.
They have no idea. And then he's like, do you have a Part 107? I said, yes, I do. And I'm also a business owner. He's like, oh, he kind of changes it, but it's ridiculous. He says, I'm just making sure you're not popping into people's backyards. Like, come on, dude.
Right.
Filming at
night. Spotlight.
Like, come on.
I'm filming children, sir. Can you not see what's going on?
That's what they always, they always like freak out on stuff like that. It's like, golly, super cop.
Yeah, no, I always, like, anytime I get pulled over, man, like, I instantly revert to, childhood and young adulthood. Yeah. And they're like, sir, you look nervous, right? I'm like, I'll tell them, I'm like, we weren't always on the same side. Like, I used to have a long history of being way on the opposite side of you guys. And I still get it, even if I'm completely.
Can I help you, officer? Here's my driver's license.
Yeah. Well, another thing is, okay, like say me, for instance. I don't have a criminal record. I do good for the community that I live in. But these cops over here, they're always getting popped. They're always on the news for like sexting people on the block or rape or something.
Holy shit.
So the way I look at it is these guys are not going to try to be better than me, because even the politicians here, they're always in trouble for stupid shit, like stuff that you would not believe. And it's like, wait a minute, if I'm this regular guy that works a job and raises kids, why are these guys acting like they're,
Right.
Yeah, maybe they feel like they're part of it, so they're above it, right?
All the time, they're like always getting in trouble for this stuff. Like,
I remember whenever I used to have all my Hatchet Men and Jokers cards all over my car. Like, I was a beacon, like for police. Yeah. And I remember I got pulled over by this one cop out here in Cedar Creek. And he's like, oh, I heard about you juggalos, and I heard y'all don't like cops and blah, blah, blah. And y'all have some, problem with them. And I was like, well, just like y'all, just like us, some of us are good, some of us are bad, and he like, yeah, all right, I'll give you that one. Yeah. I was like, yeah. And, in every clique, you're going to have, some are going to be respectable individuals and some are just going to be straight douches. It doesn't, it doesn't matter,
Right. And going back to that, I have cop friends from Marion that I'm still friends with that were actually cool with us as kids. It was funny because they would, like, when we were like 17, 18, we had, Ralph had all these like race cars all the time. And Marion's such a small town, they would like record us like with the gun to see how fast we were going type thing.
Oh yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, we did that. We do that on our bikes sometimes if there's like local. Well, that was actually out of city limits, so that was like Travis County Sheriff's Department, and they were actually cool. But like Austin City cops, shit, dude.
Yeah.
Oh,
oh yeah. Hey, I think I used to have it, that chair.
Yeah. I think we all did at one point.
Yeah, I used to have a chair like that.
The wicker back, yeah, and the brown padded, yeah. Remember what was the ones that used to have the wood grain? Like I think everyone's grandma had it. It was like the wood grain couch and love seat.
Yes, and it was
and
hard.
It had like it had like the animal pattern almost.
Yes.
Sofa or cushions on it.
I know, dude. I know exactly. And we used to wrestle on those things, dude.
I'll bust your head on that.
Oh
shit.
Yeah, dude. Oh yeah. I know.
Oh
exactly
yeah.
What you're talking about.
Well, I know it's getting late, but we can go another 10 minutes till we hit the 2.5 dead on mark if y'all are down.
Yeah, let's do that. I'm gonna use the restroom real quick. And I will be right back.
That'll give me enough time to finish up my Mad Dog 2020.
Yes, sir.
I went and got water.
We got water. Yeah.
I have to get up for the AC man in the morning, remember?
Mm-hmm.
I can't be getting drunk. Plus, I'm here alone with Lucas, so I don't like drinking if I'm here alone with him.
Right. Well, my thing is it's wine. So wine always is a weird drunk to me. Yeah, dude. Wine. I don't know what it is. It's just. It's like a very. I think it like affects like my inner ear or something because I get very. How would you call it?
Balance.
Yeah, almost like off balance
or like vertigo.
Yeah, vertigo-ish. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but I do have like that naturally because back in the 80s and 90s, I skateboarded all the time, so I took
my hair
tons of head injuries, and because I'd bust my head open like constantly, and I remember I was actually this skater back in the day. He skated for Santa Cruz. His name was Mike Guerrero. He was a pro skater.
I know that name.
Yeah, and he came to our little skate spot, which was basically like a storm ditch. And like he was scouting for Santa Cruz, and he started for all like the good skaters, he was handing out decks and shit. Cool. So he gave me a deck and he was like, dude, yeah, I'm gonna come see you and check you out, man. And we ended up building this. We had this huge hill. It was called it was on Scurry Street, and it was like massive. It was like one of those hills that you'd get the wobbles trying to ride down it. You know what I mean? Like you'd lose balance. And we built this. I think it is about a 5-foot ramp at the bottom of the hill, but it had a really steep pitch on it. Like it was like almost straight up.
Right.
And dude, I was borrowing my buddy. He had a Lone Star board. I was like, let me use your Lone Star, man. He's like, all right. So I went down the hill and I popped that ramp. And for some reason, when I was in the air, my feet came together in the middle of the board instead of staying apart.
Right.
And when I landed, the board snapped. My feet hit ground.
Ooh.
My head just went, wow, like full force into the free. And ever since then, like clear stuff, I bled, but clear stuff started coming out. And ever since then, like my took about 6 months before I could even ride again because my equilibrium was so off. Like I switched over to my bicycle. Yeah. I switched to my bike and I was like, they're like, dude, you gonna come skating? I'm like, no, I can't even I can't skate. Like, and that's the reason to this day. Read just comment.
Said Mad Dogs.
Oh, Mad 20 is nasty. Yeah, no, I just got it for the reminiscence of the 80s. And it is. It tastes like, I bet you this shit's been on the shelf for a year and a half.
You know what you need for a true 80s, at least my 80s experience, is Bartles and James.
Bartles, I don't even think they make that anymore.
Wine coolers, man, because that was like the thing. That was the thing.
I think that went out with like Orville Redenbacher.
They still make Orville Redenbacher, sir.
Do they still make it?
They do. I buy it.
I haven't seen it in forever.
Or something like maybe. Yeah, they do. I think they do. I haven't bought.
Yeah, or Jiffy Pop. Jiffy Pop was the shit. That was the one you did with the foil and shit on the stove top.
Scream, a little Scream action. Remember, she's
Oh
making.
yeah, that was on Scream. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's true. That's true. And what did y'all think of Scream when it came out?
I love it came out because it was filmed up in my hometown.
Really?
It wasn't really?
Yeah. It was filmed. Well, part of it was like so the video store scene where they're in the, they're going to rent movies or something for the night.
Right.
You're right. So the video store scene was filmed at the place that is like right down the street from my house. Like I used to pass it going to and from school every day, and that's where I'd go to get movies.
Oh, no kidding.
It's cool.
That's badass.
And I think that the main part of Woodsboro was filmed up in Healdsburg because Santa Rosa was being a bitch about it. But Healdsburg's just like 10 minutes north of us, 15, 20 minutes north of us. And but the video store was in Santa Rosa. A lot of movies were filmed like where I grew up. Like Peggy Sue Got Married was filmed at Santa Rosa High.
Huh.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. The farm, like Stu's house is, I think it's in Petaluma. I know it's out towards the coast, but it's definitely in Sonoma County.
Yeah. What else? Any other ones that you can think of that were filmed over there?
So The Birds was filmed.
Oh, wow.
No shit, the original?
Yeah.
That's dope.
And they CGI'd it to look like, because the town of Bodega is actually inland a little bit. It's not on the bay. Bodega Bay is on the coast, but Bodega, like with the schoolhouse and the church and everything, that's actually inland a little bit. What else was filmed there? There's a ton of movies filmed there. God, what else? I think parts of Days of Thunder was filmed out at the racetrack.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I remember that movie.
Oh, yeah. And that's Stallone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
no, I like the original Scream, the Scream movie, because that was Wes Craven's return to horror, and I don't know, Wes Craven and John Carpenter, especially in that era, and I think I mentioned this when we were on with Chris. You can like sense it. You can feel that's who it is, doing the movie. And that's how I felt with Scream. I was like finally getting Wes Craven back in my life because, I think when he left after Nightmare on Elm Street 3, there wasn't hardly any Wes Craven other than like People Under the Stairs, right? That was Wes Craven, I believe. Mm-hmm. But it just, I don't know. It was like, where did it go? And then all of a sudden it came back with a vengeance, and it was.
I mean, I love when it first came out. It was a good movie. I mean, and I still like it. I enjoy it. Like it's a movie that I like to watch. But I mean, my go-tos are like, The Howling, because all of those were filmed not like super close to where I grew up, but in the vicinity, right? So The Howling was filmed up north in Mendocino. And there's this camp. It's like a private retreat, and like groups can rent it out for different things throughout the year. But that's where The Howling was filmed. Like the colony is there. Then the beach scenes were all filmed out at Russian Gulch, right, which is on the coast. And then The Fog was, I want to say, down in Bolinas. It was filmed. So I mean, it's all like just north of San Francisco. Like the whole like general area is where a lot. Film. So The Howling is one of my favorite horror movies. I love The Howling.
Yeah, I remember that one.
And I love The Fog. I can watch The Fog like
right
over and over. I mean, I just love it. They talk about Drake and the ship that was, beached out there. Well, there's a Sir Francis Drake. There's Drake Boulevard. There's all this stuff like in there.
Oh, no shit. That's cool.
Yeah.
It's really
The thing that got so the three movies that I think it started with American Werewolf in London, then it moved to The Howling, and finally The Beast Within. But the bladder effect, because remember before that wasn't they had the bubbles coming up, and
Yeah.
it was like latex over a bladder, and it would, but within the Beast Within, by the time they got to that, like they had his head bladder out like that big, and it was like, okay, we've reached maximum efficiency with the bladder. Yeah.
See, I don't remember the Beast Within, so I'm gonna have to check that out.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, that's man, classic 80s. And well, not to get too much into the movie stuff because I know we're running out of time, but some of my favorites were like Maniac, and then Maniac Cop. Like Maniac was a really freaking that's a really hardcore movie when you really break it down.
Right.
And then Maniac Cop, that also had Bruce Campbell in it. It had Bruce Campbell, and okay, so the funny thing about that is Bruce Campbell, he's in the first Maniac, and then he's in Maniac Cop for like probably 4 minutes, if that, maybe 3, and he gets killed like right in the beginning. But okay, so you remember Tango and Cash?
Yeah.
Right. So remember the guy with the big jaw? He's like, "You broke that jaw?" That dude. So the behind the scene joke was because Bruce Campbell had his pronounced lower jaw, and they replaced him with a dude with a bigger jaw. Like that's kind of like the behind the scenes joke about why that dude took over Bruce Campbell's lead role, kind of a thing. But yeah, those are really good ones, man. But like Monica was saying earlier, it's a lot of those movies that they got me strictly from the artwork. I had no idea what it was about.
It's the cover, right?
Yeah, it's the cover.
The poster, yeah.
Yeah, it's like like a comic book almost. I wasn't a comic book kid, but it's like you just see the artwork and you're drawn to it.
Yeah.
Be kind, please rewind.
Yeah, boy. We had to tell my teenager about that.
Oh, and you know what else I freaking miss is, I was thinking about this earlier today. Arcade machines being in convenience stores. Like, remember, you could go to a convenience store like a 7-Eleven and and play freaking Double Dragon, or any of them, man. Like,
that was I just remember the arcades. I love the arcades. Like
the actual arcades.
The actual arcades. Yeah.
Divergence game room.
What was that? What was that one where it was kind of like Knight Rider, and you're like in the car and you have to drive up into the diesel at the end of, oh man. Yeah, that was a great one. I forgot the name of that shit.
Remember we have smoking in those arcades too?
There was smoking everywhere.
Everywhere.
My parents would roll around town with the windows rolled up, just puffing away.
Oh yeah, dude, that's how we all grew up.
Getting hot box.
Getting hot box for cigarette.
And it didn't even it wasn't anything. We didn't even think about it.
Yeah. And I remember just hating it because both my father and my stepmother both smoked, and no matter where I went in the house, you can't escape cigarette smoke.
No.
Right? Because they always smoked in the house. So I was always so embarrassed because I would go to school or I'd go to my friends' houses and I would smell like fucking cigarette smoke.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is like so embarrassing. Like, so
all my kids bitched me out about that. They're like, "Dad, I always smell like cigarettes when I go to school." I'm like, so what?
Why?
So what?
But I was that kid, even in like, 3rd grade and shit. Like if my mom left her cigarette, in that ashtray, just like put it down to go do something, I'd go there and sneak a drag and put it back. Like, I was that kid. I was outside smoking, and then go around the side of the house, and I'd literally get my report card because I made horrible grades, literally zeros. And I had a can of hairspray and a lighter stashed by my house. And so like 3rd through 5th grade, I'd got there and I had a little stash of cigarettes. Grab a cigarette, spray the hairspray on my Aquanet on my report card, and burn that and light my cigarette and smoke my cigarette and watch it go to ash. Yeah.
That's hardcore.
Yeah. I got actually pretty funny story. I mean, kind of morbid too. I got in trouble in 3rd grade. 3rd grade is really where I started to turn, because I had a lot of some traumatic stuff happen to me. So I kind of ended up resenting the world about things. But I got in trouble by my 3rd grade teacher, Miss Schneider, and she told my mom and wrote me a nasty thing. I got my ass beat hardcore, and I did like a fucking dumbass. I wrote my first death threat.
Oh,
yeah, and I was like, if you ever tell my mom anything again, I swear I know where you live, because she did live like down the block from me. I was like, I know where you live, and I'll be coming for you.
Holy shit!
Yeah, and so what happens? She gives my mom the note.
Oh,
and I'm like, yeah, so I'm screwed. So I was like, all right, yeah, I'm in the wrong, blah blah blah. And I was like, so we went to like HEB or Safeway or something, and I had my mom buy a rose, and I was like, this will be my I'm sorry present. I'll take it to her. And I was like, looking all over the house. I'm like, I don't have anything to put this rose in, as like a present. So my mom hands me a carton of Marlboro Light 100s. She's like, hey, you can put it in there.
Oh,
so I come up to my teachers. I'm like, handing her a carton of smokes, or what looks like it, with a rose in it. I'm like, I'm sorry. She's like, you're a good kid. You just got problems. Yeah. She took the rose out. Yeah, she was like, yeah, no, you're good. You're smart. You just got some emotional problems. I was like, yeah.
No shit, lady. Thanks.
Yeah.
You want to help me with that?
right.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. I swore to all my parents that it was the schools and not me, and then they ended up sending me to alternative schools. And then I remember my 6th grade year, they said at the very end of my report card, because you get like the little paragraph or whatever that they write, and they said that they will not be accepting me again next year unless I come back with a psychiatric evaluation.
Oh, shit.
Alternative school told you not to.
Yeah.
Joe, what were you doing?
I was
like stringing up puppies or something.
That's a whole nother show.
That's
a whole nother show. Yeah, but it wasn't shortly after that I ended up spending almost 2 years in a mental institution. But it happens. Yeah.
Came back.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Because I just couldn't. I couldn't comply. I just refused to comply and everything. So they were like, "Oh, well, we'll just keep you longer." And I was like, "Fine." Kind of like remember in what was that freaking? It's a classic '80s movie. You mess with the bull, you get the horns.
Breakfast Club.
Yeah, Breakfast Club. And I was like that. I was like, "Oh, you want 2 more months? Yeah, fine. I'll take them."
Okay,
yeah. I was one of those. Yeah.
We're almost
I want
done.
to go. I want to stay.
No, you're
Judd's character.
You gotta get ready for bed, man.
But yeah, that was me when I was a kid. So it took until they finally, I guess, quote unquote, broke me. But I just realized it was when they told me I was going to be there till I was 18, because they were going to have a judge commit me, and I was like, all right, cool.
Yeah.
I'll do what you want. Yes, sir. No, sir. Yes, ma'am.
Now comply.
Comply, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm identifying with my issues.
I know exactly what you want to hear. You will now hear it.
All right. Well,
I was always so far under the radar with people.
Chicks are like that, though. When I was in the mental institution, I was with this one chick, and she was like, we could not understand why she was in there because she was always like the nicest, and I guess because we were just seeing one side of it. And and I remember one time I was in the quiet room, which is, but they left the door open for me, because I was getting to the trustworthy side. And she snapped or something, and they were dragging her into the other quiet room, and she broke free of them and like just lunged on me like a freaking zombie, man. Like I just started, and I was like, dude, because they knew me, I was like, you better do something about this, because female or not, like if you hit me it's going down, you come at me like that, nah, you go crazy Catwoman on me, and yeah, I don't care. But and I remember they like slammed her down, they were tying her up, and one of the nurses, that's what they're called, looked at me, he's like, dude, I'm so glad you didn't go back to your former self. He's like, thank you for just being calm and collected. And I was like, yeah, no problem, man. I'm on my way out. It's cool.
So I was always the quiet one. I was the quiet kid in class. I always sat there. I never said anything. I never raised. I was always just the quiet one. Everybody. I was shy. I was painfully shy, like in high school. Yeah. But let me tell you, because I was talking to a friend of mine like a couple of weeks ago, and they were reminding me of this girl that I absolutely just tortured. And I did it on purpose because I thought she was going after my boyfriend. And I was like, not today, bitch.
Not today.
And what I would do is I would I tormented that poor girl. Like I figured out where she lived. We wrote some nasty shit on her garage door.
Oh shit.
Lipstick. But here's the thing is, like, I would orchestrate it, but I didn't actually do it.
Yeah.
You're the Charlie Manson of the group.
Yeah, you're the dancing card.
You were like, yeah, but you didn't do it. I'm like, well, if he was like me, he knew what was going to happen. I mean, I wrapped this girl's car in honey. Like, I found her parked outside of my boyfriend's house one night. And I mean, to be fair, she was friends with his sister. So just Simon's sister, sorry. Jeez. And like, we poured honey all over it. We wrapped the car in like saran wrap. I wrote that nasty like poem on her garage door. I chased her because I'm like a stunt car driver. That poor girl. So, I was the shy, very quiet type, but I guess I wasn't like jumping on people like a rabid howler monkey. But I had my moments, I guess.
That's hilarious.
I guess.
Yeah, we're gonna have to do a part 2 to this, because we started it with we started off topic, and then we got on topic, and then we got into, which is still technically the 80s because it is our past. That's how we grew up.
Yeah.
So it's on point, but I still feel that there's so much more that we can, pull out of the subject and carry on about. So I personally say we should do a part 2, or even kind of make it a Friday night, Fright night kind of a thing, and then we can go all over the map.
Right.
Unless, our schedules are conflicted or whatever.
Right.
I'm down. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because then we got Monica on Thursday, then we could do the breezy thing Friday, and then if Woody comes up with like any, because he's constantly doing going to spots and doing filming and investigation type stuff.
Yeah.
So on Saturdays, if you've done one recently, we can do your thing. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
And you're going to be in New Orleans with us, right?
Hopefully.
In January.
That's what we're trying to do. If I can get those days off, it's all about people covering me, and we're still working on that. But yeah, that would be.
It's a ways away. There's time.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah, that's what I'm hoping for, is just put in for it.
But Joe and I are locked in for January 17th through 20th out in
You write that down just so
New Orleans.
17th, you're what?
20th.
Okay.
And Rich, I did jump on. I never had a dyno, but I did jump on the BMX and even showed mine off.
Yeah. Heck yeah, man.
Bone Tomahawk. Sorry, I love that freaking movie. I think that's the best movie. What's it? I'm bad with names. I'm freaking horrible with them. Kurt Russell did since Tombstone. I think that's his best movie since Tombstone.
Man, I love Tombstone.
Yeah, I know. I do too. I can.
Yeah, I've been to where they filmed it. That was
you know what else I love that was back in the day is Thunderheart.
Oh, if
Val Kilmer.
Yeah.
Is that the one where he's in the Native American?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they find out
he's a good one.
Yeah, they find out he's like half native also.
Yeah, that was a good movie. Thunderheart.
And it's based on stuff that really did happen out on the
shit.
Yeah. Some of the characters are based on some of the activists, and there really was an arm. Yeah. So if you look into the details of the movie, like it's like got little nuggets of fact in it.
That's pretty cool.
That's awesome. I had no clue. Yeah, wasn't the dude from, or am I tripping? The dude from One Who Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, wasn't that like his last movie or something?
I don't remember him being in that.
Oh no, I know. No, I'm wrong. I know who I'm thinking about. I'm thinking about the dude
from Tremors was in it, I think, or he looks like the dude from Tremors. He was one of the bad guys, and I can see like just scenes of it. Like,
no, I was thinking of the dude who he's like explaining it. And he's like, "Oh, he's part coyote, turns into a coyote and runs away." He's talking about him being like a shapeshifter. That dude.
I'm trying to remember.
Amy, we're probably going to do a little bit of both. We can get Woody out there. Yeah, if we can get Woody out there, we're going to probably visit sites during the day. Mm-hmm. And then our night reel it'll probably look like The Hangover.
It's probably going to be from The Hangover.
When they see the camera.
So we'll be in different areas, I think. Well, I mean, the French Quarter is going to be where you go to party, but like during the day, we'll pop up in the Garden District, or we'll go over to one of the cemeteries, because there's cemeteries.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that, man. I've never seen that.
Oh, it's so cool. I love it. And so anyway, every day we'll tell everybody where to meet us for whatever's going down. So whatever, we'll put it out on our Facebook pages, or wherever. And you guys that are following us can definitely figure out what's going on and then meet up with us.
We'll drop a pin, bro.
Yeah.
I'll be like, we're in the dungeon, which is cool. I love the dungeon. You can't take photos there, though. No photos or video.
Really?
Yeah.
Will they know?
Yeah, they know.
Yeah.
Yeah, they know.
No photos, no video.
Not inside.
Not inside.
I think, not inside.
Okay.
Or like they don't allow it.
I watched a really good one where they posted up across from Jacques Saint Germain from his crib, and they did a really it's on YouTube, If you look it up, it's basically looking at the corner lot. So you're looking at the corner of the building.
Mhm.
But they did a really good dive into all the police reports and all that shit about it.
No, that's cool. You should repost that.
Yeah, I'll try to check it out, try to find it.
Like before we go, because there's Lafitte's Bar, which is cool. It used to be like pre-Katrina. It used to be a lot cooler. Now it's really touristy. It used to be a little more low key. But there's all kinds of cool places. Like there's the La Laurie House that you can go by. I don't know that you can go in it because I think it's still privately owned. But there's the Sultan's House. So, I mean, we could take the drunk ass ghost tour too.
Oh my God, that would be so cool.
Yeah. So I'll give my my famous ghost drunk ass ghost tour while we're walking down.
Yeah.
Shit, yeah, dude. No, I'm excited because like when I was gang banging and shit, like New Orleans was one of those things that you had to go to because back then, in the late 90s, it was the murder capital of the world, and
right, yeah.
Master P was coming out of New Orleans, and so it was one of those things that you had to go, just to be like kind of like test the city. It's like going to like Fifth Ward or something like that.
Yeah.
I don't have any business here, but I'm gonna go. But then and then after Katrina hit, so that was pre-Katrina, and then all those like Ninth Ward and all those cats, they all moved into Houston and Austin and San Antonio, Upper Louisiana. So it didn't have that, for who I was at the time, it didn't have that appeal. And then Jake got me onto the Anne Rice novels. And just like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre and all that, I started with the very last one made and then just went backwards through the book. So I learned the whole thing in reverse. But I fell in love with it and fell in love with the culture of New Orleans, because I never saw it in that light before that. So.
Right.
That city has the city has such an energy to it. Like if you are sensitive to any kind of like energy coming off of people or places, like New Orleans has and it shifts. It's crazy. Like every time I go, like the center, like where I'm pulled is a different area. It's crazy, but it's got a heavy energy. It reminds me of LA. LA's got a real pull and a real strong energy to it too.
Right,
Maybe not as strong as LA, because I can feel LA like before I can see the lights from the city. Yeah. But New Orleans, when you're in it, you just feel that drag to different like areas. It's crazy.
Oh, wow.
It's got so much history.
Yeah, the thing that got me when I was a kid, when I was probably in my early teens, was because you don't really factor in how the French own New Orleans, or Louisiana Purchase. I mean, you hear about it at school and shit, but it was seeing how like their cemeteries are set up. And then when I became a young Doors fan, and and seeing where Jim Morrison was, his burial spot, if you call it burial, I was like, dude, it looks like it's literally in like everything I've seen in New Orleans. It's like, so I went, oh yeah, duh, shithead. They're it's from the same, they have the same traditions,
right?
Because they owned it at one point in time, and then it really tripped me out whenever I heard that the term Cajun originally forms from whenever they migrated all the Canadian Indians into New Orleans, and so that's what it is, right. Cajun, Canadian Indians. So I was like, and they were mostly Apache also, which then struck a chord with me because I'm Apache as well. So
Apache.
Yeah. Oh, what do you have, Roger? You got to shoot us some of that Apache Death Cave footage.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I'll get some of that. I was actually thinking about doing voiceovers. So I have so much video that I need to just start doing like voiceover and kind of explaining it because you know, sometimes when you're walking around these places, the wind's blowing. I'd rather just kind of give the history on these places, and that's what I need to do.
Dude, if you ever need, like, if you want to send, I mean, I'm not speaking for her, but if you ever wanted to send us like slides and have us do like a pre-recorded little voiceover, I bet Monica would be down.
Yeah,
I mean, if she's got
a great voice.
Oh well, thank you. I think it's nasally.
Dude,
nobody likes the sound of their own voice.
You don't like the sound of your voice? Really?
No.
Oh, I can't stand mine.
Nobody likes their own voice.
Yeah, I love mine.
I guess that's just the thing. Like,
except
my
Joe.
wife was filming me yesterday talking about, you know, my real estate thing, and I'm like, cut. I can't stand it. But
I love I had to when doing music. You know, I had to like. Yeah. But then again, when I did music, and you know from listening to mine, I knock it down a couple octaves.
Yeah.
So really, you know.
Yeah,
so I actually take it down to that. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
Know what I mean? But you know, it's one of those things. It's weird until you've been in a sound booth or been recorded so many times that it just you accept it. Yeah, you're like, oh, that's what I sound like.
Oh,
you know.
Yeah.
I mean, if I try really hard, I guess. I mean, it's okay. But sometimes I hear myself speak, and I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah, it's got to be because I mean, I don't hear anything wrong with either one of y'all's. I think it's just because we're hearing ourselves.
Yeah,
it's when you hear yourself.
A real thing.
So I got a text just now from a buddy of mine that I grew up with, and I didn't know what the hell he was saying. I was like, "What the fuck are you talking about, dude?" And he said 2 words: "Spy Hunter." That's the name of that game where you drive the car.
Oh,
that?
Spy listening.
Yeah. And I was like, "What the fuck is he talking about?" And I'm like,
"Spy Hunter." What the?
Yeah. And I'm like, "Is that his? Is that his name in the chat?" And I'm like, looking at the chat, I'm like, I don't see any spy. Oh, stupid ass. Hell yeah. Well, shit, man. I guess we went on the 3-hour mark, and I appreciate y'all coming out.
Yeah,
and kicking it for real. So I guess we'll start with Woody. Give everybody your info and your shout outs or your outro or whatever the fuck.
So Skies of the Southwest for my drone stuff. I'm still working on paranormal stuff. I want to get back into it like full on because there's a lot of interesting things to do. Skies of the Southwest if you like drone stuff. Richie Wesley Woody on Facebook. I post some random stuff here and there, and I just wish I had a bigger YouTube channel because I've just kind of neglected it. I need to start adding to it.
Build it, man. You got it.
I need to just do it.
I guarantee you have more followers than I do.
I don't know. But see, you know what though? As far as followers, you want followers that are kind of align with you, because
absolutely,
they just don't understand it. If you have a lot of followers, you start getting a lot of the haters, and I mean, I have a TikTok, and that's what happens on TikTok.
Really?
Yeah,
I have a TikTok too, and I just post stuff, and you like it, you like it. If you don't, I don't care. That's your problem, not mine.
Yeah, exactly.
and I don't need to hear why you didn't like it.
Yeah, right. Well, me and Breezy were talking about this a few podcasts. Like some things you think is going to hit. Like I remember when I filmed the inside of the Lone Star Brewery in downtown San Antonio, and it went viral. I knew that would be a good one. Everybody loved it. It was shared all over social media. When I found the diner from Natural Born Killers out in the middle of the nowhere in Arizona, I thought, oh, this is going to be so big. It's going to get shared everywhere. Nothing. Not a thing. Nobody gives a shit. And I even tell my own friends, I'm like, dude, how come y'all don't care about that video? And they're like, oh, it's cool that you went there, but I'm like, dude, how's that? Dude, it's like from the 90s and it's all we talked about. But that's the thing. You just never know, like, especially TikTok. The best one that I have is when I found the puppy in the woods, and that one is like still getting, it's like at 17,000 or something.
Jesus.
Yeah, that one went, yeah.
See, yeah. Well, everybody knows my opinion on it, so I'm not going to repeat it. But
on TikTok?
No, just in social media in general.
Yeah,
I mean, a lot of people hold it up too high on a pedestal, and I do it because I enjoy doing it, and it's like it'd be like going to the gym just because you like to go to the gym, but worrying about how big people think your muscles are. Like, no, I just enjoy going. I don't really give a fuck what you feel about it, or you know, if you want to be, you know, oh, he said this. Yeah, I sure did.
Yeah. Right.
But yeah. Well, okay. So Monica, give the people what they want. The cacao. Yeah.
Cacao. You know, I got that from Galaxy Quest. I don't know if you're familiar with that movie where they're trying to like give.
Love Galaxy Quest.
They're like, cacao. They're coming. Cacao.
Yeah.
So, okay, my YouTube channel is Our Paranormal World, and I'm pointing in the wrong direction, so it's right there. Our Paranormal World. There's a couple of those, so if you just type at Monica's Paranormal World, all run together, no grammar here, just Monica's Paranormal World, it'll take you right to my channel. And, you know, I go live every Thursday night at 10 p.m. Central. And I also have a TikTok account for Our Paranormal World. I also have a personal TikTok account for Monica Rollins. And got the old Instagram, Our Para World. And then, of course, Facebook. And that's where I post all of the links to the shows that I'm on, is my Facebook page for Our Paranormal World. So check me out wherever you hit social media, and we'll connect somehow.
Right on. Cool. I was laughing at Bristol's comment. I appreciate y'all both coming on. I'd like to do for sure. I'd like to do some continuations of this. So like next Friday, if y'all are down, Fridays are a good time. Just hit me up about it, or I'll hit y'all up about it, and we'll keep continuing rolling, because you know we make a pretty good team, and we bounce all over the place. So
it's fun, right? It's a fun ride.
Oh, Amy's gonna meet us in New Orleans. Hell yeah,
Amy!
Hell yeah!
Cool.
Hell yeah!
But so for everybody out there, thank y'all for tuning in. It means a lot to us, even that y'all give a shit enough to listen.
Exactly.
And if you don't, then you don't, and that's cool too. You know, no gain or loss. You know what I'm saying? Because we just enjoy putting out what we put out. God bless each and every one of y'all. Y'all have a good night. Keep looking for the truth, because it's out there, and we will see y'all soon. You probably see me on Monica's show until she gets tired of me.
I like having Joe on my show. I like it. So Joe's going to be like my co-host until
awesome.
He gets tired.
I'm totally down. No, I won't get tired. I just drink.
Yeah.
I'm like, man, I'm getting tired. I'm good.
We're cool.
Right. But yeah, y'all out there have a good time. Stay safe, and one love to each and every one of you.
Yes.
And on
Y'all
that,
have a good one. Till next time.
See you later.
See ya.
later. All right. We are clear.